What's the difference between wanting and getting? You gotta have that shit within. Yeah. Niggas be leeches, looking big in somebody else section or in somebody else session. I've been telling all my bros, just don't confuse movement with progression, cause you can be going nowhere fast if you're not learning from your lessons. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alright, don't do romance.
I just feel like it's like on some like LeBron shit. If you don't think he's the best artist in the space, it's like it has to come from hate. He's the best artist in the game.
I can acknowledge that.
Just another podcast, episode 123. Shout out to my old listeners, my new listeners, B Hood behind the camera, young Matt behind the camera. Ooh, we got another cameraman. Simone, Lydia, Bricks, Lena, Chris Featherson. Make sure you say the Featherson.
Mm-hmm.
My man Willie Beeman, happy birthday. Drop a bomb for him. And I'm your host, McLord.
Can you stop giving the world my government name, please?
I didn't give myself that name.
I said giving the world my government.
That's, I'm not
What,
calling
you
you
on a
nothing
run or
else.
It's Sim.
No.
Sim for me.
Okay.
Well, you should have told me that
Y'all
before
both
we
on the
started.
You would have disregarded it.
No, I would have said hers.
You have no
Hey, bro, y'all been turning up with the clips too.
Thanks, man. Shout
I
out to
just wanna-
Chris
I wanna
for
acknowledge
following
that.
through. Thank you.
Y'all been
Damn it,
turning up.
Bricks. We've been trying,
Trying to get on
man.
your level,
For real. I see-
It's really
I see
hard
the
to do
bro.
this podcasting shit, bro.
No, I know.
Real talk. So, me and my mans, straight off the PJ.
They got flued out.
Got flued out.
I did the flying out. I didn't get flued nowhere, Chris. I put my girl in a pot. It's not the other way around, fam. Anyway, we just came from Paris and London, celebrating my guy's birthday. Lifetime contract, no paperwork. How was the trip, my guy?
Man, it was amazing, man. Just tons and tons of stuff to be grateful for, man. So I was excited, enjoyed every minute of it, man. And now we're back here getting to the grind.
I posted today on my joint. I was just thinking about being grateful and gratitude, and it's a lot of people don't get to do the stuff we do, and I know we work really hard to be here. But I was like, when I look around my circle of friends, I know a lot of people don't have circles like that either. So I was just thankful that y'all inspire me the way y'all do.
Yeah, bro. To have 5 people get on a plane for you and go across the country, across the world, no doubt.
Yeah.
Was super dope, man. So just like I said, a lot of gratitude. Like for me, birthdays is such a dope vibe because it allows you to kind of reflect and kind of just think about the year in review, and then it allows you to really think about what these next 12 months are going to be. So just tons of gratitude, man. It's been something, that gave me a lot of, time to think and reflect and just experience my family out there was super dope. So
What's your favorite part out there, bro?
honestly, like when Erica, my homegirl, she got her job offer, I think that was number one.
Very inspiring. Big business. The biggest.
How are the shorties out there?
I don't know, Chris.
Honestly, it won't even.
They got horrible teeth.
You know what it is though. I didn't. I mean, for real, I couldn't even tell you for real. I will say that what I picked up on number one is
Everybody dresses
Right.
phenomenally. over
Nah,
there.
they're fly.
yeah,
Super fly. It made me feel like a dirty,
yeah,
tacky
100%.
rapper.
Most of the trends come from over.
No, I see
Yeah.
why people come back and be layered and everything be
Yeah.
like, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
We was in Kith in Paris and I was like, yo, I don't know if everybody's super rich or they just, this shit crazy. And Kith in Paris was amazing.
So yeah, I think that, and then like I said, same thing in London. I didn't really see a lot of like different women per se. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because we're in a more like touristy area, but no, it was just more like fashion. And then obviously I felt like my parents betrayed me because I should have spent 16 years in the UK.
Facts.
If I could have been dressing like I was from Paris and talking like I was from the UK, I would clean this shit up.
Idris Elba could have been killing shit out here. If I was that, oh my God.
Yeah, nigga, it would have been
And
a
they ain't
wrap.
never
Big
seen
Lord
Top
for real.
Boy, so I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm talking like bruv and in it and all that. I'm trying, but they know what the hell I was talking about. I was like, oh, I don't even got people with me that can try to
Yeah.
blend in.
So I need to work on my UK accent. That was my takeaway.
The food was amazing,
Kadeem, did you kiss Caitlyn at the top of the Eiffel Tower?
of course,
He did all the romantic shit. He got all that off. 100%.
of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Come on, man. I date at the highest level.
At the highest. I respect
You
it.
got to keep dating your girl. Keep dating your girl.
Facts.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all can. He trying to play me, but no.
Nah, I'm dead ass.
Come on, man. Come
Who,
on.
me? I was trying to play.
No, I don't know
he said
who.
me.
Somebody in here is always trying to play me, so I'm always ready to just fight back.
Nah,
But
that's trauma.
we ate. It is trauma. We ate quail, Escargot, the steakhouse, Goodman's, lived up to the hype. Gelato, Big Ben, the Eye, top of the Eiffel. It was fire. It was a fire trip.
What's a stereotype of that of Paris that y'all kind of disproved while y'all are out there? Any stereotypes of Paris?
Disproved.
Like, you know how they say, oh, this area is like this, and then y'all go out there and they're like, oh, it ain't like
I mean,
that.
I think I mean, the idea, yeah, it can definitely be a love vibe, but that wasn't the vibe, I guess, mentally I was at. It was just more of like the idea of like just everybody, for me, was like the style and like how everybody, like I'm into, dressing up. So it felt like everybody out there took really good care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like even physically, you didn't see a lot of like obesity. You saw everybody was getting up to go to the coffee shop dressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then in London,
First thing in the morning, layered.
yeah, in London, it was funny because when we got there, Kadeem said like he was like, remember UK was the first group of people to be racist. So you're out there and you're like, man, like you think that's not the case, but even being out there, you can still tell. Like we saw a couple
We
comments.
dealt with it.
Yeah, directly. So
They told Caitlin straight up, "Oh, I didn't see you. It's too dark in here." She said,
yeah,
bro. She light bright.
yeah. So
I know. She was like, it's never happened to me before. But I just experienced racism for the first time. And Willie was like, Kadeem told y'all they invented racism. These were the first racists.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's about color, though.
yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, man, it still was a dope vibe. I mean, like I said,
I
so
also don't like Americans.
yeah.
I didn't feel that way, though.
That's
I
not
didn't,
true.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
lived
feel
overseas for about a good portion of my life, so that's not true. That's
It didn't feel.
But they do say French people are rude, though.
I felt like they were kind of rude.
The French people are.
No,
rude.
they did shush us at dinner because
They
I'm
did
loud.
shush us at
Some of
dinner.
y'all, they
No, we were loud though.
Yeah.
We were like the loudest.
Willie is the loudest, quiet person I've
Yes,
ever met.
Yeah,
yes.
100%.
So then we were all together, joking, laughing, drinking. It was loud, and somebody was like, "Shh," and we were like,
But that should tell you the vibe, because if that would have happened here, I'd have, you know what I'm saying, it would have been at least like, what the fuck? We just
we were
kinda
like-
laughed it off and kept it moving.
"Yeah."
So
Did you guys try the crepes on the street, like the Nutella crepes that they have? The
I
crepe
didn't have a
stands?
crepe.
Impact.
I was about to say the French fries was to die for over
I
there.
had a croissant. That was my
we
thing.
definitely
I
had
was on
croissants.
Yeah.
Right, next time
We
we
went
go,
to
we gotta
Mad
try
Bakeries.
Yeah.
We hit the Louvre. We seen the Mona Lisa. We did all that stuff. We did all the
Things.
yeah. We did all the things. We did all the things. Wing Victory, all that. We seen all.
Told you, definitely motivating, bro.
Yeah, gratitude. I think that's the biggest thing, bro, is just being grateful. Like, the more and more each year, just trying to do things with fam. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing, so. Always.
I need to find some broke friends. My friends run it up.
You need to find some broke friends.
My friends run it up to the
I'm the
death.
total opposite.
Nah, bro.
I'm on the whole opposite spectrum.
but talk about that though, Chris, because like I didn't look at it from a money perspective. Like, honestly, I actually look at it like differently. Like, it was really about the experiences. So I'm actually saying spend less on things, more on experiences, and more with
For
people
sure,
you
for sure.
with. So
For
like
sure.
for me, it's like like I said, my real trip experience is not even documented. But my thing was, I told them the whole time, I didn't care what we did. If I was with family, that's all I care about.
For sure.
Yeah.
The same thing when me and Bricks dipped out last year. Like, it was like nothing. Like, it's not about that. So like for me, it's like, it has nothing to do with money. It's about like we on this earth for a short time. So it's like I want to spend my birthdays with people I fuck with, doing things that we fuck with doing. So to me, it had anti-money. I don't care if you had no money. If you was my nigga and I wanted to go, we all go out there. So
And what I'm saying is, Willie is one of my 5 friends that all be like, yo, we're going. Like, Erica talking about going on a sabbatical for her 40th. Like, every quarter, we out. I'm like, damn, Erica, I don't know, man. I got a baby, man.
I'll start planning my 40th is next year.
hell yeah.
Yeah, run it up.
Yeah, let's
Zeros
run that
and-
shit
zeros
up.
and 5s, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
2
But-
years behind you, so.
Yeah, but like, you know,
Bricks and Lena?
so
2 years behind.
so Chris, so what's your thoughts on that? You're not into traveling?
No, I'm into traveling. I'm just saying I want to get my circle to a tighter. I want my circle to be like y'all's. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are a part of my circle, but I want my entire circle
I
to be
seen
much
how he
more
just
productive.
excluded us.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He said, I
And
want
my
my
whole
circle.
thing was like, why how
just-
we get the whole pot out there?
I know. I definitely invited him to Bali, see?
Exactly.
Didn't I just say y'all are a part of my
I
circle?
definitely was like, hey, bro, we trying to slide if you want to pull up.
Chris be at home like, I really don't fuck with this.
I know, but the clips are going up, so.
Then I'm gonna leave and drop another book on these niggas.
Don't do it, Chris. So, yeah, I'm just getting my cachet socially. Yeah,
Exactly. I respect it, Chris.
I do
Y'all
too.
gotta relax. But I told him it was motivating just because it's not necessarily about what y'all did. It's the fact that y'all can do it. It's the access.
Yeah.
And I'm joking because we didn't even spend that much money for real. Like, and
Well, I
everything
think
was cheap
people
over
should
there.
realize that they all can actually have that kind of access.
Mm-hmm.
Like people limit
Yes.
themselves by thinking that they can't even make those types of things
Yes.
happen, and you actually can.
You actually can.
Yes,
100%.
Yes. I would say, as a young man, I wish I'd have went over there more sooner. My brothers were born over there, but how like people go study abroad, that's not really an option for a lot of us. I really wish I had
Yeah.
a lot of that sooner before 30.
And there's one thing, and then this will help us pivot though. Like, seeing the world really gives you that abundance mindset. Like when you really start seeing outside of yourself, you just realize like, oh, this is a big world out
More
here.
to life.
Yeah.
Also, I took my kids to Paris and London a few years ago, and I think that's important to expose them
Yeah.
to early.
Yeah. Now you
So
know
now,
the world is
like
big.
we're in Walmart, and my daughter's like, "Hey, Dad, remember we were in Paris?" And people were looking at her like, you know. But the fact that she can even say that at 13 years old, 14
Yeah.
years old,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like
That's super
that was.
dope.
That
I
was a
wanted to
big
bring
move
my
for her.
baby on the trip. Her passport didn't come through yet, but that'd have been
Yeah,
super.
no,
dope.
100%.
we should take the
She
kids.
wouldn't remember, so I got to
Yeah.
wait.
We definitely need to take the kids.
100%.
abroad.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Give me 3 more years so she can remember it. I
Yeah,
ain't wasting
nah, I feel that.
So you can get that token.
Yeah, I need, if we took her now, we'd be like, remember we was flying, we went to Paris, and boom. She'd be like, no.
And she's like, Dad, you never took me nowhere. You're like,
I'm like, I
"Damn."
have the pictures to prove I don't remember. It's like, you didn't see the Eiffel sparkle? It was at 9:05. She ain't gonna care. Where we want to pivot to though? Happy birthday again to my brother.
Thanks, bro.
Oh yeah, I did turn 8. It's a lot of y'all in here. Yeah. Where y'all want to go?
Let's do it.
Which one, man?
The next one. Let's
the
go in
first
order.
one? They
Yeah,
ain't
let's
in
do it.
order, man.
Let's do it.
I got a clip for y'all. Oh, Lena said she had a lot to say about this one too.
Yeah,
That's what
Lena
y'all
says
say.
she's an
I don't
active
know.
participant.
But y'all, you gotta hear why.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay,
Bro.
hold
I have a
on.
very
Y'all
valid
talk amongst
reason.
yourselves. I have to scrub to this certain part. Clip 2. Now this is from Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. That's my guy, like his content. I'm not play his part talking though.
My mom told me my dad wasn't to keep me away from my dad. I'm 26, bro. I'm 26. My mom kept me away from my dad for 26 years. You know what kept me away from him? My mom told me that my dad said I was a mistake and kept me away from my father. Every time, this been looking for me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's been looking for me. Can you imagine all the kids out there who got a fucking ass mom telling them their daddy ain't but the daddy looking for them? I finally talked to my dad. He's a good dude.
Damn.
My mom told me my dad has not paid child support since I was a kid. I finally meet this. He has envelopes full of fucking shit proof showing he been paying child support. He told me, he said, your mom is a lying, manipulative. I have not talked to my mom in months. You know why? My mom called me. My mom's in California. My dad's in North Carolina. I moved out of LA. I can't live in North Carolina or LA because I hate those places because of the trauma I went through on both of those places. My mom calls me. What you doing, baby? What's going on? I'm at my dad's house. What the you doing at the house? Didn't I say don't discuss family business? Like, my dad comes and he busts through the door. My dad is happy and married. He's a street. Can't talk about what he do, but he is street. He's happy and married. My mom has been bitter and having sex with so many goddamn dudes of different races, and she just got married recently to a that she met on Tinder for 1 month. My mom didn't get married because she was in love. She got married because she didn't want to be lonely.
Yeah.
My dad bust through the door and snatched the phone. I was trying to no. He's like, hello? Put my son back on the phone. No, it's my son too. What do you want? Put my son back on the phone. And my dad loses it. Going in on my mom. And I'm listening to my mom. All that slapping, abuse, and beating me up, choking me when I'm on the floor, beating me with belts, wrapping hangers around other hangers, beating me till I pass out and wake back up, whelps on my back, scars. My mom turned into a 2-year-old little girl when my dad started talking to her. Mm-hmm. She talked to me like my entire life. He's yelling on the phone, you mad because I left you. And I didn't want to be with you no more. And you kept my son away from me as a weapon. My mom used her kids as a weapon. She used me and my little sister as a weapon. Whenever my mom would get pissed off by my dad or my sister's dad,
This clip goes on for a little bit. I'm gonna cut
we'll
it a
never
little
see
short.
your son again if you disrespect him.
So, Yeah. Oh, Willie said the next one. I was like, you sure, bro? I heard the clip. I already knew what it was. This is heavy.
That's intense.
Yes. Because it's a lot to unpack from there.
That's very intense. And he sounds very hurt. He sounds very angry. And honestly, hearing his story, rightfully so. You know what I mean? Especially to kind of be told something like that. But I will say my opinion about mothers keeping, their children in general away from a father, I think it has to be subjective. I'll be transparent with my situation. My son's father, unfortunately, doesn't pour positivity into my son when he speaks to him. I've never let him not have access to him until just recently because he's, tells my son that he's terrible things, enough to degrade a child's spirit. So when a woman, I think, and a mother witnesses a parent doing that to their child, then you have to make that decision to protect their mental health because he's still growing up. He's not blocked. His dad can always call my phone, but doesn't want to. But that's his fault, not mine. The door's never closed, but I'm protecting my son by not letting his dad call him on his phone to have that type of access. So it's tough though, because my son knows his dad and he still wants that attention. But as a parent, this is also not good for your well-being and your development right now. Until your dad knows how to come correct and actually be a father and pour into you like how he should. So my situation's a little opposite, but
and I don't want to make it specific to Lena's
It
situation.
still makes sense.
It's
But
subjective.
I do want to add, I always say this, and I've said it to my son's father, even though I'm not getting specific. I'm not talking about my life, but I'm saying the relationship you have with your child has nothing to do with the relationship you had with their other parent. So it doesn't matter if we hate each other. As long as we both have the best interest of the child in mind, that should be the only thing we need to relate on. And we should be able to continue. I will cuss you out, you can cuss me out, that's fine. But if you say, oh, you gonna be here to pick him up? Yes, I am. Smiley face, thank you.
And see, I think when parents have an issue with the not getting along, it's because one person or the other, there's still emotions involved in regards to that relationship. So I agree with what you're saying on that. If your two parents are whole and they're healed and they're, okay, we're not together, but we're here for our kids, it's a beautiful thing. It can flourish. But when someone still has animosity or whatever,
but he said that his father is still in the streets. He's a street dude.
Yeah.
So how long has he been a street dude? Has his mom been protecting him from that, regardless of him saying that he was a mistake? It's like you have to choose between no father or a crappy father when it comes to your child after they were already conceived, of course.
Can I ask a question on that? So do we, again, not understanding the depth of what he's a street dude, do we think that a guy's profession should be used on if we're going to allow him to have a relationship with his son or not?
I was literally about to say the same thing.
I don't think that's a profession.
No,
Right.
but it's how he decides. No. It is. It's how this guy makes money. So I'm saying is that whatever. We're not here to judge how somebody, what value they think they're creating in the space. We can disagree with it. We can call it what we want. That's what he chooses to do to make money for himself and for whoever. So do we think, however somebody decides to get money out here, is that something we're going to use to determine if you're going to have a relationship with your son? Yes or no?
As a mother, I think she can choose that.
As long as it doesn't come back negatively on her.
I don't think
I
that
don't
was
think
the
that
issue.
matters. If whatever job a parent has, as long as you can be a parent to a child, that should be what's important. I don't
Ain't
care
that good
about
to street
any-
dudes though? Ain't good street dudes?
Actually, that's what I was. That's what I was getting at.
That was my initial when she
raised by a street dude.
Yeah.
talking to the mic, bro.
Yeah, I was raised by a street dude. I was exposed to some things that I probably should not have been exposed to. It was my stepfather, but he was a good dad, right? He was a crappy husband. He was in the streets, but he was a good dad. So
what Bricks is saying is actually what I would what I'm saying, both can be true.
For sure.
And I think that when you decide to pull the trigger to actually remove somebody out of someone's life like that, it needs to be something overwhelming. And even in Lena's situation, it still feels like a season, right? She's saying, hey, this is how I feel until something changes. What he's saying in the clip is forever. He's never even known him. So when you make a decision like that, it needs to be something so ridiculous that you feel like, hey, this has to happen.
And it doesn't sound like it was his profession because that money still came through for child support. It sounded like I don't want to be with you, and I'm going to use the child as a weapon.
He has legal options as well.
And
You
that's
can't
what I
just
was getting
keep
ready to
a kid
say.
from someone. He has
Exactly.
rights.
I was thinking the
Yes.
same thing. Dad could have
All
found
he
him.
can pursue all avenues legally.
I'll roll with
to
that.
see
I
his
agree with
son.
that. Breast,
He's
come
paying
on.
child support. He knows where mom is, so
For
that's why
sure.
he knows how to
No,
access
I agree
mom to
with
get
that.
access to his child.
No,
agree with
that is a good point. So
No, we'll roll with that.
So you're saying that his energy to fight the mom probably wasn't as high enough to go see the kid.
Yeah.
Probably because he was probably in that profession. Those two can happen.
Plays a role.
Yes.
I think that has to do with the information gaps that you were talking about too, because a lot of black men don't know those things. They feel like it's hopeless. Once the mom is on that tip, it's like, oh, I can't.
I'll
I can't
also
do
roll with
nothing.
Chris on that.
But I'm more devil's advocate though. We don't know this guy. We only know we're saying he's in the streets. Guys in the streets are less likely to go lawyer up and go through the courses.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing to that occupational point y'all was talking about, it's crazy because if you can use the occupation to keep the child away, then you should have used the occupation to not lay down with him too.
Facts.
That's why I said after the child was already conceived.
Wait, I got you.
obviously.
Like, cause that street dude we know street dudes.
She was
They
in
got a
love
lot
with the
of
street
chicks
dude.
running behind. them.
Facts.
So we got to think about that.
The son said he was a good dude. He's a street nigga. I can't talk about. Damn, my fault. I can't talk about what he's talking about, but
So I do want to ask the men though. When do we think it is a time for a mom to like pull the kid away from a father?
when do we think it? Oh,
When is that appropriate?
Like with Lena, when you have to protect their mentality, their spirit, their physical body.
Yeah.
I think that's when a mom should step in and protect their child. Like I'm like what Lena said is spot on because it is subjective. Like it depends on the father. If the father's actively trying and y'all just don't see eye to eye, then you gotta compartmentalize those feelings for that man.
Agreed.
And think about that child. The child should not be paying for your ill decisions. Period. If you decided to lay with this man, that is an 18-year at the very least commitment to that whole unit. That you guys are still are a unit at that point, and regardless of where y'all live. So yeah.
Bricks.
What was the question?
When do you think it's okay to pull a kid away
If
from
there's
the
any,
kid?
if there's any abuse, whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, that's a hard boundary right there. You know, that's
because even
that's
if
the
they was
short
together,
answer.
you should pull them away. Like,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
all got to get out of this
Yeah,
situation.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, y'all unpack that. Are y'all done? That was heavy, so everybody's like, I don't. You know.
I think the video kind of speaks for itself. I don't think it's very nuanced.
The
Like,
other
you should-
the other piece I wanted to talk about in that video is when he was saying when the father got on the phone, how she acted, how she reacted to him, his energy, and then how she was talking to him as he was growing up. She was emasculating him. He was like, she talked to me like a, you know what I'm saying, my whole life. And when he get on the phone, she got quiet. She was a schoolgirl.
And she still has feelings for him.
Exactly.
Of course.
She hasn't healed yet.
So to
And
me,
she knows she was wrong.
it's exactly, it skews more towards, it won't about his profession. It's like, I got hurt feelings.
She had
And Dean,
animosity.
you know I'm sorry, Lena. You know it's crazy though. When I say feelings, it doesn't always mean romantically. Like
Of
you
course.
still have feelings, period. You
Yeah.
you still harbor anger. You still harbor resentment. Let it go. This man is 26 years old. You should be able to get on the phone with this man and talk amicably. You should be able to be fine with whatever y'all talking about, and if it's him, you shouldn't be reverting to who you were in 1980, whatever, or 1990. Like that just shows you haven't dealt with that time period because that's what you foundationally went back to when he got on the phone with you. That shows you're still there. So yeah, you still got feelings for him.
I just think about the son, the damage. He was damaged. He was
What he missed
was,
out on.
Yeah, he was
Sounded
hurt.
bad. He sounded really
He was hurt on so many different levels. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he talked about his mom's dating habits too. So he's seen a lot in that short time period. 26 years is not that long.
You know what's crazy, Dean? When we reach 25, 26, that's when we start reflecting on our own red flags and how we handle certain situations. And he probably could have been like, man, my dad wasn't there, so that's why I react like this, or that's why I do this. And he probably messed up a few relationships, a few opportunities because of the absence of his father. So when he sees that the absence of his father was manufactured by somebody that close to him, then it hits double hard because it's like, dang, I'm here in this state maybe because of what you did as far as what you took away, or the lack of effort that the father made because of what the mom did.
Facts.
So,
That's tough. Willie picked that one, so
that was
Sorry.
a tough clip, man. There ain't really much to say, man. Don't weaponize your children, man.
And get
Period.
therapy.
Your children deserve both parents. If both parents are making that effort, regardless of what their lives look like, as long as they're not proactively setting out to set harm to your child, y'all got to work it out. Period. And that has to be thought about while y'all doing what y'all do.
Yeah, it's got to be amicable. And we're back from that thermostat break. Willie, where you want to go? Pause.
Who invests more in relationships? I think that's a good
No clip with that one.
Invest
Who invests more?
How?
Right.
So I was watching this other show, and they were just talking about who invests more in relationships: time, money, effort, energy, the things you invest in a relationship, not just financial. It was from what did I see it on? It's Complicated show. He's a guy that does content in Vegas. He asks people questions on the street, and he asks people who invest more in relationships.
Like men or women?
Yes, no, cats or dogs.
No, I just want to make sure.
You would really have to break that apart for me.
Right.
Like you just
I
said
just
time,
did.
money, this, that. You would have to separate those because I can't give you an answer just for that as a whole because that as a whole is
It's extremely subjective.
Right.
this is
Yeah.
a word, but you know what I'm saying.
Every relationship.
Y'all
is
think so?
different.
But but I think we can still unpack it though, because I think. Go ahead, Chris.
I was about to say, let's just take a relationship through its entire lifespan.
That's
right?
exactly what I was going to.
We get married and we have 3 children.
Even
I
on
can
the
say-
initial,
How do we get
you don't
to
even got to
dating?
get to being married. Who invest?
All the way?
No, I mean, because see, I'm a man. So in my mind, when I think who invests more in a relationship, I think the dating stage, I'm taking her on dates. I'm spending more of my time. She, blah, 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 blah. Then we get to the next part. I don't even know how y'all see that and don't see all the other things that you got to do in a relationship just to get to the, you skip straight to marriage. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm saying if we take a relationship in its entirety in hindsight with a relationship, y'all going from marriage to death, right? And we look at that. That's how you have to assess who invested.
Let's start at courting, Chris. Who invests more in the courtship stage?
Okay.
Men or women?
Probably men. Because if you say time, then we're both spending our time. If we're saying energy, we're both spending our energy. Who's paying for it is most likely the man, so they win. So we can end the topic here.
No, I got to ask everybody else, man.
No, but
You
I'm
know,
saying that's what I'm
Bricks, what you
saying.
think?
In the courting stage.
I'm a pimp. So
There we go. No, finally, somebody produce contact with me, please.
I mean, it depends, right? I mean, I've had relationships where the woman did a lot of the investing up front.
You are a pimp.
Nah, that ass. But and
Wait,
then
hold on. Oh, Lena said red flag, bro.
this is my reality. I'm a reformed fuckboy, so. But I'm reformed.
Believable.
I'm here for the accountability.
Yeah, so.
Love that.
And then there were relationships where I did invest more. So it just depends.
Lena, what do you think?
Pass the mic. I think I can agree with both of them. I think in the dating stage, time and all that, where it's equally balanced essentially. But financially, a guy probably will invest more. And what I think that's what should happen though too, because you want that man to essentially be in a space where you know that he's actually wanting to actively pursue you, because then you're able to see different things about him. So I think men do invest more in the courting stage, personally.
Willie, help me unpack this.
No, I look at it differently. I think
I know, that's why I said help me unpack it.
No, I think in the beginning, definitely certain situations a man can invest more depending on what his desired outcome is. So like if you're saying, hey, if my desired outcome is to be with you long term, then obviously I'm probably going to invest a little bit more because I'm going to be with you longer. If to Brix's point, if we're in that space where we're just we're here for a short time and a good time.
Say we're here, we're spinning plates, she's spinning plates, I'm spinning plates. For people that don't know, spinning plates is dating multiple people at once.
If I'm spinning plates, I'm not investing a lot.
But if she's spinning plates and she's got more options than you,
I'm not fucking with nobody who's spinning plates.
Right, exactly.
Hey, I'm I'm trying to.
No, but you know what? Though? I don't even. But see, I'm not even a big believer in women spinning plates. I still think that even when a woman thinks she's spinning plates, there's always that one guy that she'd rather spend majority of her time with.
That's everybody.
Listen, when I step in, the plates get dropped. Bro.
No, because that's not true.
Fumble plates.
Right. Because even in scenarios where we're spinning plates, there wasn't always someone that stuck out. I just think women are more naturally monogamous, so I think they naturally want to lock in. So even when they are believing they are spinning plates, there is still one guy that if he gives the energy that she wants him to give, she will naturally cut guys off because she wants to be with that person.
I'll roll. You're playing semantics.
No.
You said if she believes. I'm saying she believes she's spinning plates. I'm not saying if she is or isn't. I'm saying she believes she's spinning plates. She believes I got 3 dudes. Obviously, there's always one that rises to the top. We all know that. But she is talking to multiple people.
Yeah, that's natural though.
That's the
right.
definition, literally, of spinning
So, but
plates.
again, we're going back to the investment conversation. Yes, a man is probably initially going to invest more in a woman in the courting stage to get her attention to lock in. I do think, though, in my experience, especially as I continue to get older, I do think women who are like very intentional, if they really like you, I will say they tend to sometimes invest more into the relationship than I do. And I think because women start to see like the guys that they want, I just think women are better at being intentional, knowing what they want and going after it. So sometimes they'll tend to spend more energy, whereas men, it almost feels like as we get older, we're reluctant to give energy either through trauma or because of certain experiences. So I think guys tend to kind of regress, and I think women as they get older, they just know. They have a time clock. So women either are going to go hard for you and say, hey, this is the person I want, or they're going to quickly retreat and find someone else. So I do think, at least in the dating and courting phase, or the dating and the relationship phase, I actually will say women overall will probably invest a little bit more in that space.
Ladies with the nicknames.
Liddy and Sim.
I don't like nicknames.
Anyway,
Your name is Lydia in my phone.
that's because we're related.
My mom's name was Teresa.
Anyway,
on my phone.
so
Go
I
ahead.
think that, initially men will probably invest more.
Talking to the mic.
Unless, like Willie said, this is a woman who sees what she wants. Even if he doesn't see it yet, but she's like, oh, that's where I'm going. That's what I want to do. Then women are more intentional. She might invest more as far as more time, more, not just time spent with him, but time spent learning him, because I'm always advocating for learning the man you want to be with. You should be able to know what he likes, what makes him feel valued, and things of that nature. And then I feel like, say fast forward, you guys aren't dating anymore, you're together, whatever, you get married, blah, blah, blah. I think women invest more then, because then we're going to give you children, then we're going to raise those children, then we're going to still take care of the house, and then we're going to take care of your old dusty ass later on. And who do you expect to wipe your butt when you're old? Your wife. So I think in those ways, when, like Willie said, when women get older, we tend to invest more.
Who wiping y'all butt when y'all old? Y'all wiping your own
My butt?
My daughters.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully I'm married by then, but if I'm not, then my son better wipe my
Y'all
butt.
calling y'all daughters
Or
to
my
wipe y'all butt
sister.
with a husband and
Or my little sister, she can wipe my butt.
Okay. Dang. So y'all not even looking to y'all husband to take care of y'all?
I said hopefully.
I'm gonna
I
die
don't have a
before I get to
husband.
that stage.
He's probably not going to have good knees, elbows, back.
What y'all
gonna be
knees
up.
doing?
Old dusty ass.
His job requires a lot more strength.
Physical?
Yes. So
Okay.
that's
That's valid.
But I agree with the majority of you guys. Women invest more at different parts, and everyone seems to be more caught up on who invests more first. And that's what a lot of men don't really see the long term, unless that's his intent. So if initially he's only thinking about what I'm going to get out of this, then investing early on is a turnoff.
Those are bars.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I think that if a man's very short term, I agree with her. I think a man will overinvest, and I think that's actually what messes up the curve. Yeah, that actually messes up the curve though.
Yeah, about to say
Because
that.
I've dated women where they're like, well, I'm used to men doing this and this, and I'm like,
He was a simp.
yeah, but even when a woman says that to me, it's like you're literally giving me the ammo, but he's not here. So you're comparing me to somebody that didn't end up in a space with you that you wanted long term.
It was a wham bam.
So for you to say that, it's like that shouldn't be a proxy. Men, like I said, I think men fast forward women all the time, and I think women get caught up in that. I just do. I think they start believing that's the true mean out here. They start saying, well, guys got to do A, B, C, and D. No, that's not the case. Probably the guy that's the best for you is the guy who's going to slow down and really respect and walk you through stages of a relationship. But most guys aren't. Most guys are.
I thought you were saying the inverse.
What do you mean?
I thought that you were saying men that would have a problem with investing in the early stages are the ones that don't have the foresight, because they're just looking to, see
Depending
how
on
the
their-
cheeks. Like, let me get the
right.
cheeks.
Oh no.
Depending
No,
on
a lot of
They're not
guys.
thinking that if I pour
No,
into
Willie
this
has
woman,
said
she
it
has
before.
value, and I will
Willie's
marry her
saying-
and she'll wipe my butt.
Willie has told us multiple times how these dudes are out here wifing girls off the rip.
Yes.
I
That's
was
the-
talking about what she said.
Yeah, but
I thought she was in line with what we're
she said.
saying.
No, I was disagreeing. I was saying that.
Okay.
Okay, so if this is a woman that I'm strictly just trying to be romantic with physically, that
like
if that is our sole
So that was
purpose-
my guy
Right,
cleaning up
right.
his language. I
Right,
like
exactly.
it. Thank you.
And I believe in a very scarce mindset. And I actually think as guys get older, they tend to narrow down their focus on a woman really fast. I'm willing to invest whatever I need to in the 6 months to be with you romantically as often as I want to be romantically with you until I get tired of being romantically with you and then leave you. So I'm willing to go fast. I'm willing to go on trips. I'm willing to spend all my time because I'm only going to be here for 6 months. So I'm gonna take you up that roller coaster, get you all in your feels, and then like Brick
Yep.
said, and then I'm gonna cut you.
We're
That's
getting
that
off
red
this
flag.
ride.
That's that love bombing, early on love
Yeah,
bombing that women need to look out for. Those are telltale
But-
signs.
but-
That feels like two
Early
ends of different
on
extremes.
love
And then she- I thought she was
bombing. Now
talking about
crossing
the
to something
cheap
else
dude.
now.
No,
That
no,
just
I
wants
like
the cheap.
no
He's gonna buy
early
you 2
on
shots
love
of
bombing.
Hennessy.
And I think because we're older, right?
like
Lydia's in the.
That's like some Diddy stuff, like what he's doing with
I don't think
old
that's
girl.
Diddy stuff. Oh no,
we talking about
How old are
every.
you?
I'm 32.
Okay.
oh, you supposed to be in the ballpark with us. You supposed
Yeah.
to be on the love bombing.
Those are two different sides.
But
of the
I would agree with Willie that at this age, guys are willing to, what's a trip? At the end of the day, really, what's a trip?
Right. Really.
Everything I
Yeah.
said was based off of the intent of the male.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But even the intent, what I'm saying is, if I really like you and I really want to spend time with you, I'm less likely to like overinvest because I want to make sure this is built correctly because I have a long-term
Yeah.
vision. What I'm saying is, if I don't care about how this thing is built and I'm really just trying to get you to submit and get what you want, I'll invest whatever I
Okay,
need
here's
to.
the plane
Right.
ticket.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'll do it. Like really, if the goal is strictly sex, there's nothing I wouldn't do if I was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
That sounds mutually beneficial for both parties.
Oh no. See, okay.
Nah, 'cause she
No,
gonna
I'm
fall
with
in
that.
love, and then Willie's gonna be-
No,
I want her to flow with that. I want her to flow with that.
That leads into the women want the things more. When we see that, he's like, oh, I want a bag, I want this. What can I
That-
get out of
It
this
depends on her
situation as
intent.
quickly as I can? Yeah.
I just
but that's
think,
what she just said. That's mutually beneficial.
Yeah, but
One at a
that's
time,
what
one at a time, one
I
at a
love
time.
that because I just don't I call a woman's bluff on that because at the end of the day, no, at a certain point, women don't just want things. Like at the end of the day, women want long-term relationships. They want to be married at some point. Do you desire to be married?
I am married.
Okay, so there.
Oh, hold up. So got a lot of married women that come in here.
Actually, that's going to let us reduce her argument because she's not even out here in these streets. She don't even know what's going on outside. So actually, I see where this is coming from. You in the house talking. Like,
been removed.
yeah. But what I'm saying,
The second one?
yeah,
This is
yeah.
the second one.
So, what I'm saying is though, a guy that doesn't have long-term, see a long-term benefit with you, I think they become very short-term. And what I'm saying is, most women would want long-term. There's women who think they go through seasons. I want to go through this phase, but inherently, a woman still, for the most part, 9 out of 10 want to get married. So if you think you're exchanging box for material things, what does that make you? At the end of the day, you want that connection. You want that relationship.
Finger snap.
So my thing is, at the end of the day, though, if that's what you ultimately want, you should slow that man down. You should, like Chris talks about a lot of time, you should be very selective in who you give your time and your sex to.
He says discerning.
Yeah, you should be more discerning because at the end of the day, once a man gets to that where he wants to be, or he starts being with you intimately, you start to see where this guy's true intents are. And I think guys, honestly, I say 6 months, because the first time they're not gonna act differently. They're gonna hit because they want to hit again. They want to hit again, hit again. A guy usually has about 75 smashes until you start to see who they really are.
Oh, dang. 75?
My man has collected the data. Do not argue it.
Hey,
not
that's when you do your glasses
He's
like
got
this
some
with
metrics.
Do not dispute the data.
So what I'm saying is
the
though,
metrics.
Yo, 75 smashes, bro.
but because I'm telling you, after
All women are counting right now.
I was like,
6 months.
you're speaking on all women though.
months,
All women
75
don't want to be married. All women.
There's
happy
and nothing in life is absolute. That's why I gave you 9 out of 10. I gave you a 10% variance. What I'm saying is 90%. Right.
Yo,
No, but
respect the delta,
what I'm
man.
saying is though, 90% of women do want to get married. Women inherently want to be monogamous. They want stability. They want family. They want to reproduce. They want those things. Again, and even the women who do, even the most gangster women, I'm sure you guys meet them, say, I never want to get married. They eventually do. I've seen 304s.
Yeah, we can get that one off.
Yeah, I've seen the biggest 304s in their mid-30s revert and turn submissive. Like, yo, I want.
We taught him that before the podcast.
What is that?
Yeah,
It's
I'm like, fill me in.
it's a hoe, but it's like on the calculator when you would say. So like our number one clip is at 340K, whatever. But it's mad people calling the girl a 304 and stuff in the comments, and I didn't know what it was. I had to Google it.
I'll let Lydia speak on it. I'll just say that even the girls who go out. No, I'm not saying you particularly. I'm just saying that Orlean Selena, anyone, that we know that women, their mindset evolve as they get older. And I think when you take most women who've been through experiences and you even talk to them about, hey, when you was 24, 23, they would probably talk to you differently and say, hey, when I was doing that, but I still ultimately wish I would have done X, Y, Z because I ultimately want to be married. They want something secure and safe.
That is a good
I can agree. I want to kind of go back to what you were saying about in marriage, how it seems like women tend to put on, have more of that investment essentially.
Yeah.
I want to have the argument of why. Why is that?
thank you,
Why
Lena,
should it
'cause
be
that
like
was-
that?
Because-
Because a husband and a woman in a relationship together should both be investing in that together, to the kids, the house, everything. And that's what I hate about, some structures of families where they kind of put all that responsibility on a mom, and that's not fair at all. Like,
No,
hands down, not fair.
I think
I'm definitely not saying
I was about to say,
all,
I
I'm
think the
just saying
responsibilities are
more.
different.
Yeah.
I don't know what the freaking standard deviation on that would be, maybe like 5 or 10%.
No, I'm actually agreeing with you.
No,
I just want to know
I'm
why
saying- I'm
it's
saying-
like that,
Yeah, that nigga
Come on
didn't
now.
take calculus or
I got
nothing.
I got A's
I
in
know,
math,
that's
okay? And I got an A in statistics,
She
and
wasn't
I
in
slept through
statistics.
class. Listen, but I know numbers.
It was a poor usage of standard deviation.
know.
I know. It probably
Trying to bust out your scientific terms like Willie. You don't even got no glasses. Stop.
He said that was a poor use of standard. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Don't do that to me.
No, Willie is funny because I was like, that's not how you use that number. That's not what that's for.
She's like, oh, I got some scientific terms too.
Yeah, let me say some words. I know words. No.
Go ahead.
Damn it, y'all made me.
No, you messed up when you said standard deviation. He was like, come on, man.
Listen, okay, but like I said, normally the way it works out is that the woman is the primary child rearer, the primary household, whatever you want to call it. So that means most of those things require a lot of emotional pouring. More so than the man bringing home the bacon, and he's also gonna do some child rearing after
Go,
he
please,
gets
kid,
home.
Chris, go.
He's also
Go.
gonna do this. He's
I
also
just
gonna do
disagree.
that.
I-
But I'm saying emotional
Go,
pouring.
Chris.
But did you see how
I'm
you see how
spending
you
more
just
time.
why did you just broom over that though?
Go, Chris. Thank you.
Like, why
Because
you just
I'm
zoom over
going
that?
somewhere. I'm
Okay, go ahead.
taking you into
Okay, go
account.
ahead,
I'm
go
trying
ahead.
not to negate your emotional pouring. I'm adding that in, okay?
Okay.
The sauce is in there.
Okay, go ahead.
It's there. But I'm
Land-
just saying,
land
she
the
asked
plane,
me
though.
why it's more, and I think those are the reasons. And also because when everyone gets old, and when everyone gets sick, and when everyone gets their leg broken, who do they call?
Mom.
That's why.
I think the investment piece is dependent on values, and I think it goes back to what Willie was talking about with if he had discussed values initially, he would have dissolved a lot of relationships probably. I think the percentages lie in where we value. Like if I value your time, I'm gonna see you spending time with me. It's gonna be heavier. Now, if I have a whole bunch of money, if I have $1 million, me spending 10 grand on you isn't a steep or overtly,
work, yep.
and I'm not overtly investing in you if I have $1 million. That's nothing to me. But to you, if you have $100 in the bank, you're gonna be like, oh, he is going crazy.
Yep.
So I think it's just you have to diagnose the entire picture. You got to get to know that person entirely to know when they're really, really invested. Because to a degree, when the values are different or their values don't align, you might misdiagnose certain things.
Always.
No, and what's crazy is I know we talk a lot about like men roles and women roles. When I think about the term investment in a relationship or a potential marriage, this is the time I really do think it's probably equal. I just think the investments are different.
Right.
I definitely think how a man is showing up based on, like you said, the value system. His investment's just going to look different. But I do agree. I think where Lena was going, I do think it's still equal at the end of the day. It's just going to look different in that space.
And that's the whole argument because we're equal, but we look different. Okay. And that's why I'm taking it back to what I said before. Take a relationship in its entirety. A man, say y'all were married 30 years, and this man provided a household and a living for you to actually be pregnant happily, right? He gave over a pace time. He gave consistently.
Yep.
For years. You had his children, priceless, risked your life, right? That's a more volatile investment. That's more like spike. But with him, it's a different. Like he's been working his whole life. We're just putting it in that vacuum per se because I know certain relationships don't look like that. But traditionally, y'all at the end of the day, at the end of your lives, I think you both break even. Because I couldn't have my own children. You immortalized me. You immortalized us.
I love that.
But for you to be able to do so, I had to provide a household. I had to provide food. I had to feed y'all. I had to do, you know what I'm saying? So
You're speaking traditional only, right? Though.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's what, but I think that's what we aspire. I think that's what we aspire to do. But I think that's what I think.
Is that what we're aspiring
I think
to
that's
do
what we
now
naturally
today?
aspire to do, and it goes back to that street thing. We out in the street to look a certain way, to attract. Now we might not know how to conduct ourselves when we get in a relationship, and then a lot of the toxicity that comes in a relationship is honestly, when you break it down, it's because a man isn't providing in a certain way. And I think we should talk about that too.
No, I was about
because-
to ask because when you said traditionally, they both kind of leaned in. So what are y'all thoughts on? I agree with Chris. Like traditionally, what she does for me, it looks different, but I value that contribution just the same as me being a protector provider. So when you're like, oh, that's traditional. What's the other side of that coin? Yeah, the alternative.
I think the traditional road it aligns more with nature, to be honest.
I mean, Lena gets to the big bag.
She does.
So is
But
Lena
Lena-
cool with her
Be
dude?
quiet.
No, would you be cool with your dude being at home, being the nurturer? That's not traditional.
Honestly,
don't come to
I'm
number
not.
11.
No,
Don't
no,
lie
no.
on my podcast.
I'm not.
Hood, write it on there right now. Number 11. Don't
I know,
lie.
you guys,
But you know what's
guys,
crazy?
I'm really thinking about this one. How I would feel. Honestly, if I was in a happy, whole, healthy relationship and he's cool with that and comfortable with that and we have that kind of partnership, and if that's what you want to do, babe, like, okay.
You're not gonna be like, get out my house.
Would you respect it?
If
Yes,
that's what you want to do,
Would you
then we're
respect it?
good.
Would
Like
you
I said,
really
if we're in a
respect it?
happy, healthy, whole relationship and we've got that understanding and we're doing this collaboratively together and there's that no one's bigger than the other, that type of thing, there's respect. It doesn't matter if you're out here getting a bag, there's going to be respect on that level, period.
Okay.
And that's how it should be.
Okay.
Us having money, that's a benefit. But there has to be that respect. That me making more money shouldn't make me degrade you if you're my man and my husband and my partner.
Of course.
But does that turn? But will he turn you on
Yeah.
like the man who is out slaying the
into it, yeah.
dragons?
I mean, I don't have that experience, so I can't speak on that.
That's the real.
But you know what though?
So-
But you know what though? But you know, like I probably have a little bit different take. And this is so I believe I've dated women or know women who have made more money than me. That actually never intimidates me, nor is that something that goes.
No, real dudes,
right,
that ain't gonna intimidate.
Right. No, and
That's what I'm
I
saying,
actually,
a real healthy man.
yeah, but you know what though? I don't think money is the determining factor. I think a man can make less than a woman and still put a woman in her feminine, and I still think
Yes.
a man
certain
could go out
type
there.
of dude.
Yeah, but and so I don't think money is the factor. I think what I thought I heard Lena say is like money is not the issue. It's still how a man is showing up and the value that he
Exactly.
brings. And we still know men that sometimes that will not have all the money, but they still will show up in a way that creates value, and a woman still will feel safe and confident. It just the unfortunate part is that a lot of times your ability to make money is a part of your resume. It actually says something about you. So more than likely, a man that's not able to produce a solid income is going to have other deprecating factors to them
Right.
that is going to make you not as attracted to him because
what
that
she's
guy's going to be
saying is an
congruent.
outlier for real.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's going to be congruent.
Why
It's
we got
cheap.
all these math terms today?
No, but
what are y'all doing to my show?
But think about it. Like, it's one of those rare things that like it would take you a while to really find a guy that isn't producing in the marketplace, but at the same time is really putting her woman in her feminine, and he's still the head of his household. And I think that's hard to find.
That's a hard
But at
find.
the same time, though, I do think a certain amount of money where it starts to become negligible. If I make $100K and you make $400K. We both are financially independent of each other, and we still can bring resources together, and I still can be the head of my household.
Yep. For
sure.
That same goal.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with you.
She got to respect him like that, but
Right.
for sure, yes.
I was about to say, like, it's not our job to put a woman in her feminine either, but it's tricky because feminine women don't necessarily make paper. They don't bring home the bacon per se. So it's tricky because a woman can't be naturally in her submissive self and go out here and get the big
No,
bag.
see, I hate.
Can I
we
ask a
all-
question, Chris?
No, because
I'm gonna have to
hold
agree.
on, no,
I'm gonna have to agree.
Hyper feminine women.
No, this is a good
I
question
agree.
because Chris,
Hold on.
but we talk about it all the time. The girls that really get to the bag, they do have to bring a certain level of masculinity
for sure.
and masculine energy. It's rare
sure.
for somebody to be super soft and she's like killing shit in corporate America.
That's true.
I actually
And that's
disagree
fine, but
because I
that's
think it's
fine.
about the man that you're with.
We're not talking about in a
Because
relationship. We're talking about in general the women, the women in general. Yes, her by herself.
Outside of a
yes.
relationship.
But can I ask Chris a question so you can pick it back up? Because Lena is saying something that I agree with, but it actually contradicts what you're saying.
Okay.
You're saying it's not a man's job to put her in the feminine, but we know that a woman will be in certain spaces where she has to tap into her masculinity. For
sure.
And then when does she feel safe enough to go into her feminine? But you're saying it's not a guy's job to do that.
I think that's dictated by society. I think women can't walk around and be feminine because it's just not safe out here, period. I think it's outside of the household. I don't think a woman can just go outside and be a woman because she'll be taken advantage of.
Yep.
So I think it sucks, but it's by design because they naturally set women up to be out of alignment to a degree.
Yeah.
So when you can't even properly assess men because you're not looking at them from a womanly lens. You're looking at them from like a manly lens.
Peer, almost.
Like
yeah.
a peer.
Wait.
Yeah.
I still don't feel like my question's answered.
Okay.
So the woman now enters into a relationship where she's having to put on a mask, where she has to be outside of her natural state, which is masculine at times and feminine at times. She gets into a relationship where she now decides, hey, I would potentially be feminine. You're telling me it's a choice, or is it what Lena said, that the guy has to come in and show you that you feel safe enough to be feminine? Which, if that's the case, that means it's the guy's job to put her in that place. Which one is it?
I think being a feminine woman is a task in itself when you're in this environment. And I think you naturally should be feminine, period. You should be comfortable being that, and you should let that decide what man you should be with. I think it's the peace and harmony thing. Like, oh, I'm already feminine. I'm already a feminine woman, right? Is this man, can I keep this act up with this man, or can I even double down on it with this man? Can I even be even more feminine with this man? But I don't think a man makes a woman feminine.
I
like
feel
that.
what Chris is saying,
I do, but
I
it's
know
like
what you're saying.
It's an order of operations type thing.
Please
It's like-
stop with the math terms.
But
Please.
it is. No,
Y'all are doing too much. He did that one on purpose.
But Chris is, because honestly I've never heard of it that way, but that is a great topic. Is Chris is saying you're feminine first, and that should lead on the guys that you're bringing into. And then I've heard it differently, is that, hey, a woman
guy
has
brings it
femininity
out.
inside of her,
Yeah.
and then the guy that she's with ultimately is going to let it rise to the top.
Bro, it's like when you're putting up that front, that's what you become. You start, that habit becomes instinct after a certain point. So when you find that guy and you're saying, oh, I can be feminine now, you haven't even been practicing being feminine. So you can do it for a little bit, and then you'll revert right back to your main foundation, which is what you built a living off of. We can't tell these women, yo, you got to be feminine. What did femininity get them? What did it get them?
I have a unique insight on this topic.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, so I've been in a relationship where in the beginning, I met this woman. I was pretty much homeless. I was pretty much fucked up out here, right? And the dynamic in the beginning, she was really masculine. She didn't feel the space to let her femininity shine, right? There was no room there because she kind of had to counterbalance me. But as I got my shit together, I witnessed her soften.
Yeah.
Very organically, very naturally, right? So I don't know whose argument that supports,
Willie's.
right?
But you,
And I was about to say my personal experience with a
my
line
bad,
with
Brooks,
Willie's.
but you know what's on a deeper level? She's still low-key submitted to a vision of what she saw you to be. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, to be with him.
Even still, she saw something in you that she followed.
Yeah.
Because she was there with you. And I think that's
Yeah,
what
that's
we
facts.
don't naturally see.
And it
I think
paid
a lot
off.
of the times when we're in that dynamic, we're in our own heads like, oh, I'm not providing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
So,
Go ahead, brother.
no. I do want to ask that question though. So can women, and this is for the women to answer, can you guys operate in a relationship where you're not fully in your femininity, where you feel like, hey, in this relationship, I need to be a little bit of both, but I'm happy, like Lena said, like, hey, maybe I am having to lead, maybe I have to do more, but he makes me happy, he supports me, maybe because I think this whole beta alpha conversation, I don't think there's one way to do it. I actually think there's women out there that could be with a beta and be completely happy.
Yep.
So
I agree.
So
Go ahead, Lena, my bad.
you're talking about femininity and masculinity. Where did the beta come from?
No, I just wanted to kind of frame the
No,
conference
he
of
was
like
saying
of a man.
if you're leading,
Yeah.
you might be with a guy that's a little-
Right, okay,
What I'm
got
saying
it.
is like, because I thought I heard Lena almost go there. Is like, can you be happy where like maybe she's the person that's.
I don't think Lena said that. Lena said if she made more, she could still let her man lead.
No,
if he had that energy.
Implying that he's the alpha.
Wait. What I'm saying is what I thought I heard was a relationship where the man's at home, he's taking care of the house. She's out there getting to the whatever they need to. He makes her happy. They're in harmony, but she's leading from a financial perspective, and the guy is doing more of the leading of the virtual of the household. Yeah. And so I think from afar, most people would say that in that dynamic, that she's probably going out there and getting it, being alpha. She's grabbing resources, and the guy's doing more things for the home. So I'm saying in that state, I just want to hear from you guys, can you create homeostasis? Can you be that forever and be happy?
I'm gonna say for me, like, because you asked us from a
I want the
personal
women.
perspective. For me, from experience, no, and for more reasons than I just am not like that. I'm not like that. I don't think I'd actually from my life, you can look at it and see that I'm not good at going out, gathering resources, being on.
And you know what?
No
That's the
PC
most
shit.
truest moment this niggas have
No
had.
PC shit. Dead ass. I'm not good at this shit. I don't want to drive. Okay. I don't
Excuse me.
want to. But I don't want to be responsible for bringing home the bacon.
I respect
But I
that.
feel the
don't want
same
to.
way. I
I'm
actually
not
feel the
great.
same way.
But I'm
Because
saying
I
I'm
don't-
not good at it.
Oh, well, I think I'm
You're
good,
good at it.
but I don't
I'm
want
not
to
good
have
at
to
it.
do that if I
That's
don't have
realistic.
to.
No.
That was super
100%.
real. She said, I'm
And
not.
I'll be absolutely honest. I only do it because I'm a
showed
single
arms.
parent. That's why I do it, to
Okay.
sustain my house and my son. But if I had the choice to be like some of these women out here sitting
Let her
back,
chime in
waking
too.
up,
It's not for me. Me and my spouse, we both feel in sync with our expectations and what we bring. I would never be with a man who I had to be more masculine in that sense. That's just straight up. As
I respect that.
short.
So I want to
think
challenge
any
this,
woman
like, and I've asked women this because I don't know why, and maybe this is just by happenstance. I've met a lot of women who always have at least one story in their life where they were with a man happily, he wasn't working, and they were taking care of
Yeah.
him. And then I always ask, I said, how'd you do that? And their response, I just want to hear it. They say, well, women are naturally caretakers, so we have this desire to want to take care of a man and tap into him and hope to like feed his vision. So they were dating on potential. So I guess my question is, can you guys be happy with a man like that as long as it's temporary? Is there like some timetable, or are you saying forever? Go ahead.
But you know, Willie, I think that's more of that motherly instinct. But that's the thing, that man isn't your son.
Right.
Exactly.
I feel like that's
part
what I feel
right
like that's what
there.
I feel like that's what gets tapped into. Is like, oh, I can take care of him, but then you start treating him like your son.
Right, inferior.
and that's the
Right.
problem because he never was at that space and being whole for you to not have to operate like that.
Right.
So that's why I talk about the whole feminine, masculine thing, and a man allowing for that to naturally be able to, roar his ugly head.
And
I think another factor here, another caveat, masculine and feminine energy is not always connected to gender.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So some women are naturally more masculine or more feminine. So if she is not like my mom she has a lot of masculine energy, and it's not always because she was a single parent. Like all of her sisters, even the ones that were married their whole lives, carry a lot of masculine energy, right? So I think a woman with more masculine energy, if the dude has a little bit more feminine energy, they'll find that equilibrium. They'll find that
That's what he's
balance.
always talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I was asking them. I said, could they be happy in a space where they have to stay mostly in their masculine because a man's gonna be in his feminine, and could they find harmony there?
that's a deeper.
I have a question. Just from your experience, do you think that makes your family feel more matriarchal versus
I don't think people in the family are thinking about that. If we have harmony, right? If there's peace, if there's love, if there's safety, who cares?
No, I like that question. A, because it gets us off this topic. Thank you. And B, because you never really hear people talk about matriarchies like that. We always talk about, is the patriarchy the cause of gender roles or the result type stuff? Rule number 2, the segueing is being
No,
ready to
okay.
Being
bounce right back.
traditional?
Wait.
Are we saying
No,
traditionally?
because I
Cause?
see it in both. In both, like when I think about the matriarchy and the patriarchy, I think about this on a very like small scale. I think about family-based matriarchy versus patriarchy, right? But I see it in both areas. Like if it's a patriarchal family, where dad's running things, all the dads are running things. Dad, grandpa, uncle, they're all in charge of whatever. Everyone still has their roles, and normally they do follow traditional gender roles. But it still feels that way in the matriarchy, because in the matriarchy, even though she says that she's running things, or everyone goes to grandma, everyone goes to mom, everyone goes to aunt, whoever, everyone still has their roles, and most of the time the men are still doing those traditional things, and the women are still doing those traditional
I
things.
think
she's
it's-
just louder while she's doing it.
I think it just looks different, like we said earlier. It's like what is running things? What is that? You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their purpose of what
Being
they
the
bring to the table.
facilitator, you do this, you do that, you over here, you do this.
And you know what's crazy? I think that men have to be the facilitator because of that investment piece. Let's say it like this. A man has to protect his family, right? He's called, he's the the first on the front line to protect his family, to die for his family, right? So he has to act as that facilitator because he has to pay the highest cost if we make the wrong turn or we hit a dead end, right? So I think that's why men have to protect. I mean, we have to lead because when stuff hits the fan, who is being called to take the hit if the man is there? And I'm just saying it like that. I think that's why we have to lead. We have to facilitate. It doesn't mean we take everything. It just means we're gonna pay the cost if we get steered the wrong way.
Yeah, we always use the same example. If we end up homeless on the street, they're not gonna look at her crazy. They're gonna look at me crazy.
And that's unfortunate.
They're gonna be like, what did he do to get them here?
That's
even if
very
she was
unfortunate,
leading the
too.
way.
I don't like that because I find that's a lot of unnecessary pressure on men. Because that should not be like a responsibility of us failing like this is because it's your fault. And I don't think that is what I don't like, even how society can think things like that, you know, and blame it on a guy and yeah.
I think Lena, I think I agree with what you're saying, but I also think there's a light on the other side of that because men have to have a purpose.
Yeah.
They have to be doing something.
Gotta have a North Star.
I think that's why y'all really can't deal with us when we're not successful because it's not the lack of success, it's the result of
What's
that
your
lack of
vision?
lack of success causes. You know what I'm saying? When that man's in the house and he's not hitting his goals and stuff like that, he's not a very pleasant man to be with. You get what I'm saying? So I think there's a dark and a light to that. I feel like I agree with you that we do put a lot of pressure on men, but we don't give them the opportunities to actually fulfill their lives. We say, oh, men got to do this, men got to do that, but where are the opportunities? You know what I'm saying? Where are the openings for men to go through to actually access their full potential? So, yeah.
Y'all quiet.
That's how we wrap up our segments. So yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, that one, we breezed through that one kind of. The average man will take the average woman, but the average woman will not take the average man. These are facts, but
I don't feel like we fleshed that one out.
We
feel
did
like
it. We
flesh
didn't.
that out every time we come in here.
The average man thing? Or
Well,
the
no,
patriarchy?
I'm talking about the
just saying.
patriarchy.
So what's
No, I do.
average?
That's
That's what I want to have that
that's
marker
the
first. What's
No,
average? What's
let's-
average?
Thank
Height,
you.
weight.
Thank you, Lena.
No, height, weight, average. Y'all know what? God damn it.
No.
Y'all
Weight,
are
medium.
gonna make this a math pod.
education.
He make
money.
40,000. He's 5'8". He weigh
40,000 is average?
40 something for the black man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, look at you. It hurts you.
Look. As soon as I said it, Lena was like, "Oh, Scott, that ain't average." What I'm at.
Not scratching the neck.
Yeah, look, no. Since you guys want me to put some number on it, like y'all don't know what an average dude.
I can't stand
He's
y'all.
got average attractiveness. He might be me. I don't know. Minus the money
Well,
part.
that's if the both are the same. That's average taking average. That's probably why she did the neck.
Yeah, because I'm like,
oh, I don't have experience
most women
in this.
would
I don't
meet
know.
that guy.
I
That
don't
guy
know
might
about
be. He might be. I don't know.
I don't think a guy in that realm
I-
should even be taken. You need to work on yourself.
Do y'all like?
Okay, but
Damn, Lena, they don't deserve love too.
I mean, if you're
Lena was like, I don't think that man should be taken. He don't do that. No average man.
She's at Burger King like none. She's at Burger King like none of y'all deserve relationships.
Can I ask y'all a question?
None of you
That is
guys
not
work
what
at
I'm
McDonald's.
saying.
Can I ask
You're
y'all a
the
question?
manager at
That's not
McDonald's. You
what
don't
I'm
deserve
saying. Like, where's the
anybody.
camera?
You work at the mall? How dare you talk to me?
Did I unplug?
Do y'all like?
this one?
You guys are crazy.
No, but
Do y'all like to look up to y'all
turned it
men?
down some.
Yes.
Why?
I want to feel
Why
like
do
you can
y'all-
teach me
why-
something.
But Lena, you have to also know if everyone. There's always going to be an average.
There
like,
is.
in numbers,
There
there's
is
always
always
going to
gonna
be
be
an
an
average.
average.
Because if
No,
everybody's
5 seconds ago, y'all acted like y'all didn't know what average meant.
My point was, what was our average marker so we can have the discussion? So
I
that's
had to
all I
tell
was
you.
just saying.
Average
What's
height,
happening
average
to our
looks,
average
average
just
money,
to think
average,
about it?
average.
So then a guy does choose average women very easily all the time. Women, we probably don't. I honestly,
You know what? No, I'm gonna
we
challenge
don't.
that.
I
I'm gonna
agree
challenge
we
that.
don't.
I'm gonna challenge that. I think there's a lot of incels and a lot of depressed dudes because we are that way too. I think a lot of dudes are delusional too.
Yeah.
We look to see, oh, if she doesn't look like this, she don't have an ass, she don't have that. I don't want her, but bro, what do you look like?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true,
What do you,
Chris.
no, there's a. But think about,
Yes.
think about.
No, because there's a lot of guys that don't get no girls, and the first girl that gives him any attention, he's on that ass.
I don't know.
bro.
I don't know.
See, because you're
I
Chris
don't know.
Featherston. You don't
No,
even know
I
that.
I'm telling you. No.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Chris ain't never even.
No.
You know what, me?
Kadeem. No.
First of all, I wouldn't even talk to you.
No.
How dare you? How dare you?
eyes are green.
You average woman.
average woman.
You average average
Such an
woman.
average.
Let me know when y'all are done.
It's okay, Chris. Y'all just drag me. Y'all just drag me.
How dare you? Chris is talking about like every dude, like, if she don't got a fat ass, nigga, that's you. Yes, bro. Dudes out here are thirsty. It's a lot of average dudes that don't get no box. That nobody looks at.
Dean,
Chris don't have to shave. He don't have to cut his hair. He don't gotta have a lineup.
You know,
They're
I will say
outside.
this. No, average men will shoot their shot. Average men, I feel like they have nothing to lose and they will shoot their shot
Absolutely.
too. I
Look
mean,
how
I
they're
think
talking
it's
about
all
these
the
average
same.
guys.
It's just,
Average dudes and shit. They like, oh my
they'll
god,
shoot their
them
shot
average
too.
dudes.
So I don't see anything like.
I have a lot of men in my family that I try to put on with various females, and they have a lot of critiques. And I have to
the women
ask
or
Who, the men or the women?
the men.
Are they average? Are you classifying them as average or
your
no?
type, Jones?
Wait,
Chris,
but-
No. I'm assessing the character, and they're not even ugly.
Okay.
They're like they're on the average spectrum, but I know they would treat
Chris
my
trying to put
cousin.
his people on with
No,
average.
but
You
Bro, but that caters to this topic because why are we diagnosing a woman that I know would be loyal to my cousin or my brother or whatever as average? And that's
feel
what
where
I'm
you're going.
That's what I'm saying.
that's
like
the
average.
real
Why are we
question.
saying average?
That goes back
That's
to
All
my
why-
jokes
definition.
aside.
Because there are, we know there's a women that
That's
have.
not quantifiable.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like, why are we saying?
How is average not quantifiable?
No.
Do I need
He's
to
saying
character?
he's saying character's not quantifiable.
No, it's not.
Okay, so where are we? What are we
But
leading?
you know,
what are
come
we
on,
leading
man.
with?
Men go with the eyes. We gotta. I'm
But
not
see,
attracted to
and
it.
that's
It is
why
definitely- this is
that's
the
why a lot
love
of
and
men.
math pod.
That's why a lot of y'all men out there ain't getting no box.
Oh my God.
Period. Because
Tell him,
y'all
Chris.
think y'all deserve the supermodel and you don't.
Put the camera on me for 5 seconds. Do not listen to Chris. He is telling y'all stuff that he didn't never have to deal with.
Kadeem, why do you
Listen to
think?
me.
Why do you
Because I'm
think?
medium ugly and me and Chris smash the same chicks.
Wow.
No, we
real,
don't.
no cap. Listen to me. Still shoot your shot, but you got to be better in them other areas. You might not be 6'3" with the light eyes, but if you got other stuff going for yourself, you can have any girl you want, my man. Trust me. Don't listen to Chris.
Kadeem is selling y'all a dream.
I'm not. I told him to be better.
So I actually agree with you. I actually agree with Kadeem. No, I agree with Kadeem.
Political
I agree
run.
with
He's on his
Kadeem.
political campaign saying if you just work hard, you'll get the woman of your dreams. That's not gonna happen.
Saying
Some of y'all need to
But
dumb
hold
down
on.
your standards.
No, hold on, no, Chris.
Not your standards are
I've been
too high.
fat and I've been broke and I've taken down some 7s, 8s, and 9s. Fat and broke. To be honest, I think it's more about your attitude.
Facts.
I think it's more about absolutely. It's not always about looks and bank account. If you have presence, if you can walk in a room and it's about your light. It's about your energy.
But what Bricks is still saying is you have to level up.
Right.
I said that. I literally just said that.
No, you didn't. Well,
Can I just get out a stat just for the people who can't see? Bricks, how tall are you?
Oh yeah, these are tall niggas. Yes.
These guys are above.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Thank you. No. Yes. No.
Don't do that.
Thank you. Good job.
Let 'em
Good
play.
job, Willie.
No,
I want a guy
No,
who's like
Bricks,
above 6.
fuck that. I got you, Bricks. Bricks, how much did you? Bricks, how much did you weigh?
350.
Have any of y'all
I
ever?
was 350.
No.
I was 6'1". I'm 6'1".
No. Have any
I'm
of y'all?
6'1".
Have any of y'all? Question. No, because these niggas, just because they think they got glasses on and shit, they're not attractive or something. I never I wear glasses and my beard doesn't connect. I don't look good. But you call yourself medium ugly.
And I still get baddies. My girl's a 10, nigga.
But that's what I'm saying. You acting like you out here looking like Shrek or
I
something.
said no. I never said that. I said medium.
But have y'all ever weighed over 300 pounds?
No.
Okay, stop.
Tell him. And I got no fucking play. I didn't get Bricks play. I got the guy in the corner in the gym like, yo, we're not fucking with
But you leveled up to match what your standards were, right?
You got to get up there.
But that's what I said.
No, but
if you do all the other stuff, bro, you don't have it. Don't. Well, that makes you not average. Man.
But no, some of them aren't gonna reach that high of a standard.
I didn't say where I was at, bro.
You still gotta be, but you still gotta be realistic. You still gotta be realistic.
But Chris, I did want to go back to something you said because I actually think guys critiquing and their actions don't align. There's a lot of men out there that will talk about kind of women that they want, but then when you really look at their roster and what they're really
their resume,
they really are settling for the ones that need to. And I do agree with you though. I do think that if a man does have certain things that they want or certain things that they value, I actually agree with Chris. You should be more aspirational. Say if this is the kind of woman I want, if I want a 7, 8, whatever, I should be working on myself. And I do think guys have more things that they can control than they can't.
Yes.
Yes. So I do think a guy can go to the gym, they can get their money right, they can get their network right. And I do think, though, average men can attract above average women if they control the controllable.
And I will say, Kadeem did say that. He did say that. But you have to come here first to assess correctly. I think a lot of y'all aspire for a supermodel or IG model from your mama's basement. And that's not realistic. If you sitting there wanting that, you gotta put yourself in that environment.
I don't even think an IG
but until you get there, until you get there, stop.
I'll be honest with you, and this is like, and I think we all agree here. I think I've talked to this about Bricks offline, Kadeem. I think men, as we get older, though, the looks thing starts to come down a lot for us. We do start to really look more for chemistry than anatomy. I think when we were younger, anatomy was a big deal, and obviously we still want to be attracted to women. We still want to be able to hold that fire, but we all know we've been with attractive women where the anatomy was all.
And that's what we said. We broke down the Love Is Blind.
We go for the extreme.
Right.
We be like, oh, she's like a 10, like 11 out of 10, but then we like everything else is
right.
Yeah, she's
sacrificed
she's
a lot.
born.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
She's no fun. She doesn't even laugh.
Yeah, because the whole looks thing is so, like you said, subjective. A girl is bad until another bad woman walks in. Same thing with
that's a never-ending
it's a
story.
never-ending cycle. That's why I even tell like women, like when women, like you talk about women that want things. I tell a woman from day one, if things are of value to you, I'm the wrong guy because it's a never-ending thing. There's always gonna be a guy who will make more money than me, and I'm gonna encourage you to go do that.
Right.
So like I said, so if that's one of the KPIs that you're looking for with a woman, it's just it's
KPI.
So really,
I'm so tired of metrics on this.
what do we connect to then? What do we connect to then? If there's always a more good-looking woman and there's always a man that makes more money, what do we connect to?
Values, yeah, I do, and but I also,
There's always gonna be someone better looking.
But even values, I think we have, like we talked about the other day, and I think what Lena is saying as well. It has to be your values,
right?
Because my values are going to look different than Bricks are going to look different from you, especially where I'm at in my life. So like my values when I was 25 was different than where they are today.
Sure.
So I think most people got to understand that values are unique to you,
right?
And I think that's what you have to connect on. It's just so hard to do that in this space. I think until you really get alignment. And I actually think, like what you said, when a man's on their purpose and they understand where they're headed, their values will become more clear.
Right.
Because their values and their purpose should be in sync.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right.
There's no way you can know your values if you don't know your purpose.
Right.
That's a journey. So basically, don't start dating until you're 25.
32.
Until you know yourself.
You
gotta know your fucking self. You said what?
Like you said, we changed so much from 25 to now.
Yeah.
I don't think 25 is it though. I think you should be knocking everything. I mean, you should be picking and rolling until your 30s.
Yeah, that's a fact. I didn't begin to learn myself until I turned 30.
Yeah, I was say 30s when
It's not realistic for you not to be picking and rolling. I'm just saying that you shouldn't be in a serious space at that time. I think women mature faster than men.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to create that life so you can slide that woman in there and she has a purpose in your life. I think when we're young, we don't have purpose, so we're just. I don't even know where to put her.
We're doing what Willie said, sticking and moving, picking and rolling.
I don't even know where to place her. I don't even got nowhere for you to sit.
Right.
Like, you don't even got a desk here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to establish and build that so we can be able to do that.
So I was with my high school sweetheart, right? We got married really early, and I spent the first half of my 20s married with children, and I was lost. I didn't know how to be a husband. I didn't know myself, right? So to the point of like knowing yourself, I think men in their 20s and even early in their 30s should focus on really, really knowing themselves, focusing on their purpose. I mean, I know that's very, that gets thrown around a lot, but it's true.
It has to be the foundation.
It has to be.
Because you got the fruits of that early.
Yeah. Because if you don't know who you are, you'll be swayed.
That's a fact.
You'll be led astray.
Because having a family is a blessing. That's a gift. You know what I'm saying? And that should be a product of you living your purpose and walking your path.
And breaking the rules.
So you have that to fall back on.
So yeah.
That's real what he just said. That's real what he just said. You gotta have your life too, and you gotta know who you are for women and men, to be honest. Because you'll look up, you like, dang, I got these kids. I don't know. I'm just saying for women. That's why a lot of women fall into that. They be like, yo, I lost my identity. Men be like, yo, I lost my identity. And that's why we fall into that, because we don't have that foundational.
You said that shit, dog.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, you said it ain't in me, it's on me, because you was trying to do stuff to appease them, to fit them into your life, to fit into their space.
I lived it, and like you said, and I was 26, 27 years old, so I like 100%. I should have no business.
Man, that's real. Don't rush it, y'all.
I fuck with y'all little podcast.
And we're back from another break.
The blanket.
Kadeem hates us.
No, I don't hate y'all. Hey, look, as long as we adhere to the rules on the board, I don't care what y'all do. And let's cook up a good pod. Now, during the break, Lena and Willie was getting into a great conversation. So we're going to go back. Because we were talking
What are we talking about, Willie?
We were talking about the patriarchy thing. Like, I think what I thought we were going to go into is, like, I do think men have, or the patriarch of a family, even in his absence, can impact gender roles. So even him being a part of the family construct and even his absence also impacts downstream, because depending on where the patriarch lies or his involvement will also impact how the woman shows up in the family. So I was just saying that when we were talking about like the gender role thing, I actually do think it starts from a patriarch perspective. And I remember watching this documentary one time when they were talking about when white people started to really start creating laws and rules or things to really go after the black community. They started with the men, and they started with getting men out of the home.
Breaking it out.
Right, so breaking them down, putting them in jail more, making sure you're creating scarcity so that they're killing each other more. So attacking the man and even removing him can impact gender roles downstream. And then when the men are in the lives of the family, even how they show up or how they move, if it's either positive or negative, can impact gender roles. So it was just, Lena was talking about during the break, and she can talk a little bit about, she looks at her dad as the model by which she dates.
Yeah,
and so I think that's
what
what
average. And she was like, I don't know. Because
Yes, I was asked what my level of average would be. And I was just basically trying to say that how I was raised is what my standard of average is. And I knew what I wouldn't, what I shouldn't be bringing home. And I knew what the standard was for my father. And so I feel like, again, that topic is kind of subjective because my average may not look like her average or whatever because of the standard that was put onto me as a child, so... That's why y'all had to drag me like that. No,
no, we didn't drag you. When we were talking about average men, we were talking about across the bell curve. But I do like how you frame that because I have a young daughter and I'm trying to set her baseline above the average. I don't want her accepting shit that she should. Goddamn, I'm the one cursing.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, I don't want that. Right, and I'm not that. So I want her to see me and be like, nah, you got to be doing at least this.
Yep.
This is what we're accepting. We're not accepting anything below that. So I do think, and Willie's point is spot on. We came across the pond. Now I'm using those kind of words.
So you're saying average is almost circumstantial.
I don't think average is circumstantial because there is
subjective to what
no. There is an average. You have a baseline that you're willing to accept.
Okay, so you're saying
that's not your average. That's your
average, and then there's the general.
no.
Yeah.
I agree with
I mean, like I've dated a
math.
situation where
Yeah,
my
y'all can't
dad.
Y'all can't be-
Socioeconomic average per country
Thank you.
per capita.
There we go.
And then there's a
Economical.
personal.
No, I just
And I know for my thing being listed as average, because my father would say in a way to me, this is how I would identify. He would be like, someone's a great person, but they're just maybe not as refined, or they're maybe not be as. Those are things that my father would say that would kind of be, okay, I kind of see what he's saying. That's might be how I need to identify that, So, again, like I said, it's subjective.
No, I actually agree with Brick. So even though y'all shut him down, I think I think you can have a personal average based on your personal experiences. So like again, one of my good friends, she was from Africa, and her family was quote unquote like a royal family. So the men that they used to put in front of her all had a certain status, certain money, certain resources. So all she knows in her personal life of guys she looked at to date had one particular baseline. That's her personal average. That doesn't mean for all the guys in the country this is another average. So I agree with Bricks. You can have a personal average based on your personal experience or the guys you've dated. So Lena's personal average is going to look different than her personal average. And then we could talk about generic averages. So I agree.
Average.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree with Bricks. I think there's two columns.
Yo, what you said about the patriarchy and how the absence and all that stuff, that was deep, bro. I just want to say that.
It's real.
Thanks.
That was good. No,
I feel like religion plays a role as well too.
What do you mean?
Religion, the Bible guided a lot of people in literally almost every culture how to be a husband, how to be a wife, what children should be doing. It is literally a guide. And it was definitely in American society, like even overseas, everything. So how does that not affect how everyone else is now playing their roles and how they see it?
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think, because I hear what you're saying, but do y'all think these gender roles cater to nature, or do y'all think it's just programming? Do you think they align more with how things move a little more seamlessly, or do you think it's just all programming? I think it caters or it's more in alignment with nature, period. I do. I just wanted to ask y'all.
I
y'all
agree
think
with
it's-
Chris.
I agree. I think that even like the term female nature, I think there's certain characteristics that are innate to females and men, and actually that's what makes it really dope. Is that like when like me being a single father, as I've grown up more and more, I've actually seen the power of that polarity and started to say like I messed this one up because there are certain characteristics that female just naturally do in certain dynamics as a wife, as a mother, that you're just like, damn, that's why that you're supposed to do this in that traditional sense, because there's certain things I'm probably just not going to be great at. If my son falls and scrapes his knee when he was 5, I was like, damn, somebody should go kiss it right now.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not that guy. I'm probably, like,
Get up.
But it probably ain't gonna hit the same.
right. It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Even now, my son at his age now, even when we're playing football or he's playing football or anything, our conversations are just different. We're just different dynamic.
And it's still love.
When he
Yeah,
fractured,
100%.
his,
And I
when he
hate that
fractured
we-
his leg, we were like, man, he in here embarrassing us. We
But
didn't
you know
even
what?
what was wrong with him.
But I want to go back to Chris because I actually battle that with like my daughter, like me and her mom. We usually are just so out of alignment on how we consider value or how like our nature. But I always say, man, just how you value something is different than how I value something. And like when we're like literally like for her the way she sees things is more monetary. She looks at things very like direct, like transactional. And my thing is I look at parenting as a relational, like a marathon.
Yeah.
But that encompass.
She looks at parenting as transactional.
I just think she's just more cumulative, like just like gift. She yeah. Like no, I'm trying to say it because I don't think there's nothing wrong. I just think there's polarity.
Yeah.
I think a child needs both.
I think that's small-minded though. I think that transactional stuff is small-minded. I think
And
a
it doesn't mean
relationship.
anything.
A
It doesn't-
relationship.
it does
Because
nothing to a child.
No, because if it was the other way around and you were transactional, they'd be like, that's not enough, right? Well, you can't just buy your kid stuff. You can't
Right.
just
You can't just
spend
buy
it.
it.
I guess what I'm saying is that I do my best to not like. It's not from. I don't look at parenting as my job to communicate what I think is a good mom to her. Like I feel like her relationship with my daughter is going to be between her and her, and I think my relationship with my daughter is going to be between me and her. And I try not to say what's right or wrong. All I can do is be the best father that I can be.
I hear you. I don't think it's black and white like that though.
When you're a
I
single
think-
parent,
I think you can. I think you can have a say so and like you tweaking and you like. For example, my wife, she spoke to my daughter a certain way, and I told her I'd text her. I didn't even do it in front of our kids. I just texted her. I was like, yo, that was a little mean. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, you know what, you're right. And she explained to me why she was like, I was a little overwhelmed. I was doing this and that, and that was it. I'm not necessarily telling her how to be a good mom, but I think both, if y'all are gonna be together, you can assess to a degree.
But I
But
think
but-
Lena and Willie are
but
saying
single
though, yeah,
parents,
they're
so
not
it's all
together
this-
now.
yeah,
In
That's-
alignment.
So
I even think you still can assess.
I don't know, man.
That's a that's
Not-
I
you
don't know,
can't
Chris.
dictate.
I don't know. That's
but you can't dictate, but you can say.
Chris, I can say whatever I want. That don't mean he gonna listen.
No, but you know what though? I think at the end of the day though, I think it starts with number one, respect with each other. And
Right.
I think if it was coming from a place where both parties like respected each other, maybe things could come back softer. I just think that I guess my original point was that even when we talk about like men and women, I just think things are gonna look different. So how I love and how I parent is gonna just look different. And really what I ask for in those spaces is just respect for how I'm parenting and I respect how you parent. And we can disagree.
Yeah.
And we can still both, love our child.
Yeah.
And nobody's love is wrong. We're gonna show
different.
it's gonna be different.
Right,
It
and
looks
yeah,
different.
no, you can definitely
show up
agree to disagree, but I think that same respect, I think that's why we just got to be careful with who we procreate.
1,000.
But I just
100
think-
million thousand.
Because that respect has to live even outside of the relationship. It has to, like, I had a child with this person. That's a big thing. That magnitude should play when y'all on the phone with each other.
Yeah.
Why did I choose this woman? Okay,
Yeah.
so there's some validity there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that she dictates what you do, but you take it into consideration.
But I guess what I was saying is though I actually respect the role that she like when I'm just someone like I see the areas where she shows up for her and it does help me like to understand okay well if she's getting this from her mom what role what can I do like how can I complement that so we still create a holistic view for her.
And I think the part for me, if I can speak on that, I have to do both. And that's what's hard for me because it's like, how do you find that balance? Not your find, in that type of retrospect. And so for me, it's like doing the best that I can and just guiding a human being that needs to be an adult. And that's how I try to quantify like how I, raise my son the best of my ability because I will admit I'm not a man and I can't be his father. And I can't teach certain things or feel that certain thing that he's going to feel, you know what I mean? And I totally get that. But like I said, the only thing I can do is just try to show up, how you said, as myself and doing the best thing that I can as a parent.
That's the dangerous thing about single parenting because we think balance is like some of us. I'm not saying y'all, but the typical person thinks balance is running from one extreme to the other. So we're either too soft or too hard. We don't necessarily lean in that sweet spot. When we're a single parent, we think we just gotta, okay, I was too hard right here, so I gotta be extra soft right here. And then it's like the child is in a very rocky space.
It's so
not
hard,
a smooth
but it's so hard to
ride.
balance. It's very hard to balance. And I think also a single parent, it kind of brings you into your masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
And it's hard to even try to still, you know, how am I trying to say this? Like how you bring your child up to kind of be able to identify that. And that's kind of like what I was saying in the break, you know, feminine energy and masculine energy, I feel is taught as a child. You model that after seeing your parents. Like how did your mom act? And a woman naturally is probably going to grow up and probably essentially model and emulate her mother. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So, yeah.
Parenting is tough.
That makes a lot of sense, though, because if you're a single mommy and you're raising a son, you can't just be soft mommy all the time, right? Because if I'm soft mommy all the time, I'm coddling him every time he scratches me. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm wiping tears when he's 14, you know, because he cries all the time, because every time he cried when he was little, I came and I didn't do no hard stuff, right? But if I do hard stuff because I'm trying to compensate for that, he might grow up looking for a woman that's more masculine, which might be
let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question as mothers. How does it make y'all feel when y'all have to come down on y'all children hard? Does it make y'all feel good?
I hate it. I cry so much.
I do not like it at all. However,
about doing that.
I'm not the most coddly, like even in my natural state or whatever, because my son's father is around. He over there, he takes his son, they do what they do, right? So I know there is a male presence. So, but even still, I'm just not the most super soft, coddly person. However, when I have to put some bass in my voice, I think it's good that he respects it, and I think that's important.
And I think,
but it doesn't make me feel bad. I mean, everybody might go overboard. You say you were stressed out.
Yeah, you feel bad sometimes. Yeah.
You know, you meant to say something, but you yelled it louder than you thought you did, or something. And then you're later on like, oh, that was kind of loud. But I have no problem going and apologizing to my son and explaining to him that not everyone's perfect, and sometimes mommy was acting like that because I'm stressed out, I was tired, and it's not your fault.
And I think
y'all kids is older than mine. Shit. I'm still trying to find my affirmative voice. I hate yelling at my baby.
Well, you have a daughter too, and she's.
Well, Chris has daughters. Yeah, she's cute, but
you're
she's
a man, so I can see how it'd be like harder for you to.
She's
put the
2,
bass in
so
your voice,
she's
looking at
drawing
a
on
little
my
harder.
walls and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, but I think it's easier. I think it speaks to the nuance and the complementary nature of us, because it's not gonna hit me as hard when I come down on my kids. It's not gonna hit me that hard. Now, if I was out of line, I can acknowledge that. But if I have to be the enforcer, it's not gonna hit me as hard as it would hit y'all.
Because you think you're supposed to do that already.
Right, because that's my job, and that's naturally where I feel the most in alignment, is to cover them and be that enforcer to a degree.
Now, I put that girl in timeout, it'd be real.
In affection,
I hate it.
Not saying I can't show affection, because I feel like it's a percentage game. Like I'm not just 100% like masculine, no nothing. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a percentage game. It's a 70-30 kind of split, 80-20 kind of split.
You have tea parties?
No, I don't think I've had a tea party with my daughter. But I play with her, you know what I'm saying? And I grab her, and I make sure I grab her, hug her, kiss her, tell her, you know what I'm saying, tell her I love her, all those good things.
Yeah.
All of them.
So they both exist, but I notice my wife, when she has to come down hard, it weighs on her more than it will weigh on me. And I think that's
100%. Yeah, no. When Caitlin yells at Sienna, later she be like it was the worst thing that ever happened. I was like, but she don't listen to me.
It's hard because being a single parent, you feel like a drill sergeant, especially if it's like to a son and you got to steer him a certain way. It's like I struggle with that. Because I'm like, dang, like I feel like I'm always like upset, or I'm always this, and
but I think that
mommy.
But I think that goes back to the original point, is that however that man shows up in absence or in presence is going to dictate certain gender roles. And I think even as we were, like you guys were talking, Chris is probably who I'm most aligned with, only because I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to get into some of that more soft or like laughy play. Like I'm most people know me, I'm very serious a lot of times, and I have a lot of things that I hold. So I always have to like find space to let it down a little bit, or be more playful. But then when I see if their mom was there, we were in that space together, and she was able to like fill some of that gap, I would feel more connected holistically. I wouldn't be so conscious about being softer and gentler because I'm like, her mom's got her. Yeah. But because there's an absence there, and I am a single parent, now I have to be more cognitive of that. I have to start thinking about, okay, how do I show better interest? How do I create more conversation? How do I kind of get to her level and talk about teddy bears and stuff like that? I've talked to Brooks about this, like really creating moments with my daughter, because I realized like, hey, I need to do this because I know me and her mom are not together.
Yeah.
And you know what's it's crazy. It's so poetic, man. Because when you give them those two extremes, you give them the option to pick a side rather than valuing that gray area.
Totally agree.
They have to value the gray area. They gotta value the structure, and they also gotta value the affection. But when it's
1,000.
space, they get to pick, and now it's like that child will either lean more towards aggression or fall.
But I think that's
towards-
what happens with single parenting, though. I think that's what it creates that polarity.
Right.
But I think the daughter thing is tougher too.
Yeah,
because you've been doing the single parent thing with the son, and
yeah.
it's not the same questions, it's not the
Right.
same energy. Even with like,
And she's very protective of her, so of how she sees things. So for her, it's like if it's not hitting her scale, then it doesn't count.
yeah,
Yeah. Shoot,
Yeah.
when I was
tough.
when I was going through our split for those 3 years, we did notice that Kennedy wanted to be with her mom more. And I respected that. I was like, yo, I want you to be with your mom more. You know what I'm saying? I want that. But it shows
like
that
that.
with me being naturally me,
no, I get it.
wasn't.
Though. I can see where Chris is coming.
But you know what I'm saying? There wasn't any abuse. There wasn't none of that. I love my. I
He's just
love
probably
Kennedy.
more stern
I
when
was
she's
just
with
more
you.
stern. I
Yes.
said no more. She was like, oh, he's saying no. I don't
But
wanna
why
be
is that
over here.
wrong?
It ain't wrong because I tell my daughter no for
Right.
GP
but
sometimes.
it's different though. It's different.
No, she gets everything she wants.
No, I think it's completely different. I actually say like if I was with the woman and I was saying no more, it would create the more gray area. Like your no and her yes is going to create the
no, but he was
homogeneous.
saying when they were split, he
Yeah,
said
but that's
no.
what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
when you're split and him saying no, the same way he would
It
say
don't
no
hit
in a
the same.
relationship,
Yeah.
it's going to hit a lot different.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
No,
I don't want to come over here anymore. I have a choice to come over here.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't why you know what I'm
And
saying?
that's the part I
Can't
disagree
give kids
with.
options.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
when I'm
Can't
being
give kids options.
harder or there's more discipline going on in my house, he'd be like, because he's 7, my son is 7. He'd be like, "Is my dad coming to get me today?"
See, and
Is
my
he
son
coming
doesn't
today or
have that
tomorrow?
option.
Yeah.
I'd be
Right.
like, "It's Monday. You here for 3 more days?"
Right.
You sound like he's at jail.
No,
you got 3 more days over here, fam.
Now, all I'm
my
getting
dad
now
coming.
with my 13-year-old is, "Are you okay, mom?" And that's what I'm getting. Are you good?
That's a beautiful question.
No,
though.
it is. I mean, he definitely does. Are you good? My son is actually very aware of
Lena,
my-
break down. No, it was a long week. It was a long week.
I don't know where to take us from here, bro.
guy.
I want to ask that question. Where has all the good men gone? They're in your 20s.
Oh yeah, I seen that on the show
Where have
too.
all the good men gone?
So
Because a lot of women. Go ahead, bro. I'll let you do. No, you
No,
got
I think the question is this idea that women in their 20s reject a lot of the good men. Like when women want to go out there, kind of like what you were talking about, accumulating assets,
that face.
and just they become. Women in their 20s are sometimes harder to get to because they have that abundance mindset. They
more
think
options.
they got more options. They got time on their side. So I think the idea is like when women do get to a point where like, hey, I want to settle down and they want to go inside, they want to get married, and they start to look for that ideal man. That some of those men that were trying to get to you rejected.
Pause. Didn't you guys just say though men shouldn't be doing anything like that till they're in 30s?
We talking about the women. Where all the
Oh,
good
okay.
men
Oh, but
gone?
they did say
They're
that.
in your
Okay.
20s.
Yes, they're in their 20s.
They're in their 20s.
Yeah, so even if she's 25 and she's talking to a 30-year-old, she still swerved them because she was like, "Bro, I'm at the club. They on my nuts." That's how they talk.
Even with what you guys said about waiting to your 30s, that's a response. That's a response to
Right.
climate. Because back then it was marrying in 13, 15.
True.
I think that's a response to the society we live in. Because I told my brother the same thing. I was like, bro, don't have no kids out here till you about 33.
So the question is, and I'll make it more concise for the pod. Is there men that you felt in your younger age that if you had the mindset you have now today, you would have taken more serious?
No.
Damn, none.
I mean, just in you asked my personal experience.
I
When I'm
respect it.
thinking about all the dudes that I knew when I was, well, actually, I'm still in my 20s. I'm 27, but you know,
she a
when I think back,
Yeah, she got a little bit more time and it's over.
just a little bit. But when I think back, I'm like, I can't think of anybody that I like seriously passed over that I'm like, darn.
Lydia like the scammers though.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, Willie, I think.
No, I don't. Stop.
Lydia
think-
be with the club
Don't
dudes
create
and
that
the
narrative
scammers.
right
think
now,
the-
okay?
It's on the tape.
I,
We're on episode 123. It's on tape.
I think the deeper thing behind that question is I think they think they're pursuing the good men anyway. Their idea of the good man is different. It's the same as our idea of the good woman is different. So they're pursuing the good man. It's just that their idea of the
it's
good
very
man is
surface
off.
level, 'cause that's
So
what
how has that
The
changed
lit
for you,
man.
Lena? Like between your 20s and 30s?
It hasn't.
Now you got me all feeling sorry. Like, wait, how are we talking about this?
So we're saying like what Chris is asking. Chris is saying that your idea of a good man changes from your 20s to 30s. So I was asking the question is like, so when you were 25, you probably the idea of the men that you were attracting are the guys that you thought were the ones that you needed to be with, the good men. How has that evolved now that I'm assuming in your mid 30s?
How has that evolved?
Right.
Or has it?
I don't know.
It's been the same. It's the same
I don't
bar.
know if it has evolved. No, I'm just playing.
Right.
I mean, it's evolved just by certain markers, I guess, that I could
Standards.
identify, standards, but I had a child at 21. So for me, a marker was a lot more in a grander scheme of things, you know what I mean? So at that age of being young, in my young 20s, I was really looking for more, definitely like, you know, that steady, something that's gonna
Yeah, you
be
had a kid.
real, gonna be around
Yeah.
my kids. So I, you know what I mean? It's like, it was very different for me and what I was thinking. But going back to, did I regret or did I think I passed over someone? Nope, because it would be here right now. So nope.
Okay.
Gang, gang.
I disagree. There are men who I feel were good men, young men, who I judged their character then, and I knew it then, but I knew I wasn't ready.
Ooh, applause that. Kadeem.
Yes, because somebody's being real in here. I like it. Hey, she can come back.
That's a good one.
Yeah, no, I definitely knew when I was ready, what I was ready for, what I was looking for, and I can definitely admit that they're good men in their 20s, but some of us just straight up being not ready.
Yeah.
It's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We've been there. I think
We've all been there.
with a lot of us, I think about, because I think
I was shallow.
even us in our 20s weren't like crazy
Me
little,
too, sis.
like wild, stupid animals. We had a standard list probably, and it was probably loyalty, honesty, integrity. But as we get older, we start to break those things down, and we start to put bullet points to integrity. You start to know what integrity actually looks like instead of just saying, I want a man with integrity. Now you know what it actually looks like. Even if it's by displacement alone, you know what it doesn't look like. So now you know what it looks like.
Right.
I think as we get older, we start to break those bold, big statements down and actually elaborate on them and actually be more specific in what we want.
I'm gonna flip the question around because I feel like that's when the most like, yeah, when you're young, you get your heart broken at 18, you might be a little savage. But when you're 25, 26, 27, and she do you in, and you ramping up to 30, that savagery is a different level. No, it is. No, oh man, I'm thinking back now.
PTSD.
Having a
No,
moment.
because they did me dirty in them eight. No, that's when the what she told me, bro, she had a belt.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Scarred about that.
No, I'm not scarred. I'm winning. Check the
I
scoreboard.
got you, Dean. I got you, Dean. When you get your heart broken at 18, you're almost like, yo, I'm about to just go fuck a whole bunch of girls.
Yeah, and they don't.
But when
they
you
don't-
get your heart broken at 25, 26, you be like, oh, I'm about to level up on this mother.
Yeah, like you picked
You know
a
what I'm
girl.
saying?
She was in college. She was doing this, that, and the third. But he's a Q.
But I
and
feel
he's
like
on
a
the
lot of-
football team.
A
And
lot of
he
guys
the part. Yeah.
What if the guys
think
have the
that they
girl and they
want
go for less
someone-
than ever?
They think that they want someone based off of shallow things. A lot of men I've seen like, oh, she's got this going on and she's got that going on. This is who I want now. And the commitment, all of that's there. And then that person isn't on the same page.
For
that
sure.
woman is not on the same page.
She not.
She might even look at you like you're an option in that far, spectrum for when you guys are to be together. Like, so I feel like some people set themselves up to get their heart broken with expectations based off of shallow choices and shallow options.
Mm-hmm. Stupid decision get you stupid prizes.
Right.
Sure does.
Like I've seen men and boys say like all the reasons why they want or like someone, and then when they're upset, I've seen the other end of they're upset that it didn't work out. It was just like, well, bro, you only liked her for these reasons.
Yeah.
You didn't really, you know what I'm saying? You didn't really get to the bottom of who she is or what she is. And vice versa.
And what you're saying is she probably gave you everything you wanted because your
What you
likes
wanted
were
was-
shallow.
Yeah.
Right.
If you just like a little good neck and some cooking, that's what she gave you.
So-
So she didn't fail you.
So
You wanted more.
Oh my God.
So the question here is then, to bring it back, is there good men out here at your ages now?
Yes.
In this area?
In this area?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Lena?
Like, in this area. I'm asking.
No.
Damn, Lena.
You're sitting next to one, ma'am. Yes, you are.
A lot of them. We on the couch.
You
What
are.
Gotta know where to
talking
find
about?
them. You gotta know. You gotta be able to
So is
recognize.
there good men? Oh,
Look,
you're
took that
married. Yeah.
seriously.
I mean,
you sound very convicted in that.
So you guys not taking that seriously?
Now,
No.
Just
Liddy, you in a relationship, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I said yes.
but
I just
wait,
said you
oh,
gotta
wait.
know.
Wait,
you
I
gotta
don't
be able to
want- I don't
recognize
want
them.
You attract what you are. You attract
Uh-oh.
what you are.
Right, I don't want relationship. I don't want relationship. I'm saying for the general population, because you guys have friends, both of you, and I'm sure you hear dating stories.
Oh,
in your
They're out here. I didn't say in abundance.
right. That's what. So they're not in abundance.
That
Ooh,
far.
no, I got you, Lydia.
You're not good
Lydia,
at anything in
Lydia,
the
abundance.
Lydia,
Let's
Lydia,
go.
Lydia, let me come to your, let me come to your rescue. Let me come to your rescue. Let me come to your rescue.
Go ahead,
For
Chris.
what? I'm not.
I say you need rescuing.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Okay.
Rescuer Chris.
Simone's in a relationship. You in a relationship. You just got a relationship. Willie ain't in a relationship. Willie, are there any good women out here?
How is that saving me?
Here.
Because I'm taking the light
Don't
off.
say here.
I actually think there's a lot of good women out here. I think just for me, I think about more but less like what I want out of the relationships. But I do think for like women that could, depending on what I desire or somebody that I could be with for a long time, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good women out here.
I mean, being a 3 percentile man, it just smallens the pool, right? I mean, at least. I mean,
I say I feel you.
at least. I mean, it makes the
very
pool small. So there can be great women out here that just don't do it for me, right? But they're good women for someone else.
The average man.
So as we
For the average man. Exactly.
So
Not in
Kadeem
abundance.
and the men on this couch. So as we climb, is that a reality for us too?
What?
As we climb a ladder or societal ladder, do the pool of women shrink?
Yes.
Okay.
And for women
Yes.
too.
I don't know, because I think no
No,
Bricks
he's talking about
no
how
Bricks
when you
is
boss
talking
up,
about
get
the girl
your
that he
pockets,
might
you pick
want to
whichever
get, but
bitch
the
you want.
pool is plentiful for Bricks. It's not a shallow pool.
But-
He got a deep
but-
end in his pool.
But Kadeem, what's the pool if he doesn't really want to swim in it?
I guess I guess the question is, number one, is are we saying that the end goal would be marriage for the man, right?
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like what you see as a wife, maybe what you saw as a wife when you at a certain
Quality.
level,
He's
and
saying
that's what we got to be on right now. We can say quantity. Quantity was back then.
Yeah.
As you go up,
Quantity
in your
didn't
status,
change.
then your
As you go up,
quantity
the
is
quantity keeps multiplying.
and no need no flex nothing. This for some men it's been quantities never stop.
That's a
Now
fact.
as you
featherston bar.
but
That's a
like
fact.
Bricks is saying, as he climbs and his quality enriches, he wants something to match that.
Yeah, because if that's what I was
So I
saying.
think-
If he's a 3%, he won a 3%.
Yeah.
But he really
And-
could
and-
get
and
the
what-
whole other 97%. If he
What
wanted.
also makes the pool smaller is the fact that I'm looking for life partnership. It's not like if I'm looking for a bad joint to smash and have fun with, yeah, the pool is a little bit bigger. But when I'm thinking about someone to build a life with, that pool
That's what I was
shrinks.
asking. What the end
that
goal-
makes a difference.
But I also will say though, I almost have like
Because
this.
Bricks, a pool is a pool, even if you don't swim in it, my brother.
No, it is.
Yeah, but I guess I also think that sometimes in the dating space, I think women, you start to date them, and I have this idea that certain women will eventually show like I have this idea like in like a life partnership that it's going to be probably a woman that just I didn't intentionally think was going to be a life partner, that just through our interaction, our chemistry and all those things, that they'll eventually like mature into that. So I guess when I'm dating, I'm not necessarily saying, I'm having a bar right here to say life partnership. I'm saying, hey, here's what the things I value, here are things you value, and I'm willing to figure out in this space, where am I going to put this relationship? And I think there's like this spectrum of relationships where I've dated women where I might say, hey, you're not a life partner, but you're going to go here. And then someone else, I might say, we're going to go on a life partner journey. So I guess I just don't have this right now in my life. It's not as rigid, but me and Bricks talk about this all the time. We're in different parts of our journey. Like I think he's already been in that space where and I've seen you put a lot of women in a lot of different spaces. Whereas like for me, like right now, I think I'm just more open to experiences and understanding like what feels good for me. So I think I'm still like learning those things.
And Willie, I think from hearing y'all talk, I think it's not really about quality. You can find quality women, but as we get and build our lives, we want a woman that fits in there and moves in harmony with what we got going on.
Equally yoked.
Yeah,
Right.
but Chris, that's why I think for me, you just hit the nail on the head. That's why I've tried not to be as rigid, because I realize that how a woman's gonna show up for me and how they're gonna connect with me I'm gonna feel it. I'm gonna know, but from our experiences, I don't know. Like there could be women that could be certain things on paper and we can have certain values. Like professional women, non-professional, like the entire spectrum I've dated. And I just think certain women just do a better job connecting to me than others. And so I don't know what that's going to look like from the surface. Whereas like, me and you've talked about this a lot. There's women that we didn't even think could connect to us that just do.
Right. And you're almost saving women because you can throw any person in a slot and try to mold them to be like the person that fits there. And you know what I'm saying? Try and cram them in there. But you're not doing that.
But I just have this idea, and it could be completely flawed. Like that right woman or that person, I think that would be my life partner. You're gonna feel it, you're gonna sense it, you're gonna be with that person, you're gonna see this person through seasons. They're gonna align. Like the right one, like you said, they're gonna connect.
It's gonna be seamless.
But just know that alignment doesn't always mean like ease all the time. Right?
Not at all.
It's not.
But also, I'm also.
But she'll challenge the right spots.
She'll will
challenge the right spots.
And they'll call you up. Like I said, and they'll be that mirror. Like I think, and like you said, I'm not sure I'm gonna know. Like every woman, I know that from the very beginning.
And I think the right one almost is because we all know what our flaws are.
Right.
The one that comes in there and they can see it off rip.
They
can find that little.
But
you're like, oh
they
shit.
can also love you through it.
She sees me.
Like I give this dumb metaphor. Like I like this idea of like a woman who's like very very like meticulous and like neat, and like somebody who's like obsessed with cleaning, but I'm like the messiest person, but they love me anyway. Like that's like this idea, like they can see your flaws and not use it against you.
Right.
They can see it and know your intentions and know your heart. Right. And I think that's a special type of woman. I'm not saying every woman can do that. And I'm not going to say like the pool is small. Like there's probably a lot of women there. I just haven't experienced certain women to say that that's going to be the ultimate person that connects with me. So when you ask me the question, is there a good woman there? Hell yeah, there is. I got to find the woman that's going to connect with me.
Yeah.
We got to ask young Matt. Matt's the young gun in here. He's the nicest guy I've met in a long time. He's a not a nice guy like y'all think run over, but just a gentleman, pure gentleman. What you looking for out here, man? Are you just grinding?
I would say I am grinding, but for the most part, I am looking for stability because I am pushing 30. So at this point, I just feel like it's pointless for me to be out here going to clubs and doing all this extra stuff because I've been doing it for years. It's just boring at this point.
You ready to get married?
I wouldn't say marriage, but I am looking in that direction within the coming years. Man. Within maybe about 3 to 5 years.
Young ladies.
Yes.
Young Matt is an attractive young dude. He's in the gym. He's on his
easy
square.
phones.
He does have on foam runners. Mm-hmm. He's smart.
He's ready to walk over your house.
Got stable income.
Stable income. We about to do
That's the perfect come through fit. I'm with it.
Yes. Essentials hoodie, foam runners, slide. But he nice. He ain't gonna do nothing. He a nice dude, man. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, Matt stand up.
Matt is a stand-up guy. No, seriously. He asked me some questions. I looked at him like, nigga, what?
That is perfect. With the pink socks, I mean, I'll definitely wear that over a chick's house, bro.
Don't listen to Willie. Willie is the opposite of what we're talking about right now.
It's wild, though, because...
Y'all not going to come for my man.
No.
Y'all not going to do that.
Biggest fan. What you talking about?
Let me ask y'all a question in response to that, because I think we all know a lot of Matts, and we all know a lot of good women, but I, in my opinion, I don't feel like the climate is in their favor.
Nah, I agree.
For good men?
For good women and good men. I don't feel like the climate's in their favor.
Good women,
if you combine sexual liberation with you can go get boxed anytime you want to, with men spending a whole bunch of money on any kind of woman or women that lack integrity per se, that climate isn't good for the people that are actually walking a tougher path, or a more rewarding path.
But I think to have that attitude about it doesn't serve people, right? I think you have to have this optimism that you're going to find your person, right? Y'all will attract each other. And I think if your attitude is scarcity, oh, it's tough out here, that's going to block that.
That's what I totally agree.
Yeah,
but that's actually what I was saying. Is like my mindset is so in abundance that I don't think like that. I just think that person's gonna connect. I'm gonna attract that person. So I think the idea of good or bad is like I just don't think like that. I think the right one is not. I'm not gonna be able to define it. It's gonna be I'm gonna attract the right one into my life. So I agree with you. I think you have to have that mindset because I think if we go out here and date with that mindset, like Chris and Chris is right. I actually still agree with Chris. I do think the climate can be. I can agree with it, but
It's an awareness.
Yeah. Awareness.
It's a
That's
balance
the right
between
word.
the optimism and the pessimism. It's almost like I'm aware of this, but I'm a move regardless.
Right.
It's that you got to be a soldier.
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
We are
I hate to sound
Young
cliche.
Matt is outside. What's going on out there, brother?
Bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
Sexually transmitted diseases. That's what's out here.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Nah,
Let's
that's
be
real
honest.
shit.
Look, and that's why
real shit.
That's what I know.
Nah, I like that
I'm
response.
going inside just
That's
for that.
real.
You're right. I'm going inside.
You're not going inside, Willie.
That's crazy, man.
I can't wait to go inside.
No, you're not.
Protect yourself.
I don't know what inside y'all talking about no more.
Right.
The inside that I'm on, or
You live inside.
I'm in there.
That's,
Oh, I thought
that's the dream.
Willie was saying inside, and Lydia's inside was not the same.
No, my inside was the same.
How
No,
about
Lydia's
that?
was.
How about, how about
Chris,
I'm
like,
about-
you guys,
I
can't wait to have my wife kind of
let's take
conversation.
inside outside. Let's do that. Like what y'all were doing. What you were doing, Kadeem, for real. That's really the
take it
dream.
inside
People don't think
outside.
You
see, and this is-
outside,
It's funny because
but-
people don't think that shit is cool. I'm like, yo,
Nah, that's-
being with
that's-
your
that
girl.
shit is lit.
doing fire stuff with your girl.
That's
is
the wave.
I want my
Yo,
girl
I
to be
don't
my
think
best friend.
No,
Right.
I'm telling.
Actually think
It's
that?
like, and it's
Is that
weird.
lame or that's
No,
not-
what people want to do, people want to go out.
They want to
and
live double
get
lives.
bitches.
Bro.
On both.
Yeah, that's wild.
I just don't
They
think
want to
people.
go out and do wild stuff and
Here's the
be
cake.
a hoe.
When you
Yeah.
got your
Yeah.
person,
But
that's like the
it's
best
better
feeling in the
Period.
world.
Period.
I don't
Period.
think
I'll
people
say
think,
this.
and even though me and Caitlin are not married, I still try to conduct myself as a husband. I don't think people think being a husband is cool no more. I
I'm
think
a-
me and
Facts.
Chris.
Facts.
I'ma
No, not
speak-
legally. I mean, technically by Chesapeake standards, they taxing us like I am. But no, but I'm. That's how I'm showing up. So I try to show like, nah, that shit can be fire too. You and like that's why I always say keep dating your girl. I try to keep it as fresh as possible. Let's cook for each other. Let's go out. Let's create these experiences and these moments. Especially since we breezed past that and went straight to the kid part. We didn't get to do all that yet.
And that's why friendship is so important. Establishing your relationship on a foundation of friendship is y'all gotta fucking like each other, bro.
That'll give
But
you
I'm not. I mean,
Yeah,
and
still
Willie
doesn't stop anything.
knows
That'll-
this.
No,
we
that
didn't. We
still don't
didn't.
stop
We
anything.
didn't start off.
That'll
like
give you that second
We've
thought,
been.
though.
I think it's a work thing. People don't want to work to get there.
Comes.
Yeah, but you can work. You can work to build that type of relationship. I think it's something that we gotten to the point where we was like, yo, we got a kid together. Yeah,
You
this
know-
is what I want to do. This is where I want to be, and it's an active choice. It's not, yeah, you gonna connect, but the more and the more we choose each other, the more and more we keep connecting. That shit's different.
I think that's what y'all stumbled across. I think
And
that's
we stumbled across it. Like,
Right.
to Chris's
And I
point,
think
it wasn't like love at first sight.
But I think,
What Caitlin said at the trip, it was I'm trying to pick and roll at first sight. I'm trying to get in and get out.
but it's like it's crazy how much of a blessing that was because a lot of people don't know that love at its foundation is a choice.
For sure.
If it's gonna be a feeling, it's gonna fleet, and you just gonna be anywhere that love takes you. But when you sit here and you choose that person, that's the secret sauce, bro.
Right.
So I think y'all you stumbled across it, but I think that's the thing.
It's dope. And I don't want y'all to think, yo, you can take your girl to Paris and she's still gonna argue with you, fam. It's part of the game. But you gotta know how to balance it.
I guess the one thing I do disagree. I don't know.
We ain't
and,
argue, I'm joking.
and even like we joke like you could be inside outside whatever. I don't think I look at being a husband as a bad thing, and I don't even get the feeling even on social media that people look at being a husband a bad thing. I think it's still around selection and understanding like who that person you are going to be married. Like I've never been this person, no matter ups or downs, where I was like I'm never getting married. I just never know how I felt. I always felt like long-term life partnership is important. I always say I don't want to die alone. I still think though it just the dynamic is finding that person and then understanding like how are you and that person, number one, who are you choosing? And then how is that going to look like in your own experience? I think what's messed up a lot of things for us is social media, because I think we have these ideal states of what we think marriage and husband should look like.
Between what you just
Everybody has
said
their
and
own
what Chris
opinion.
said before about everybody thinking like the dating pool is so trifling, like people don't even really want to try no more, bro.
Right.
It's like, let me get what I can out of this and then I'm gone.
Right.
It's the option, bro, and I think it's the easy road towards the hard road. Marriage is not easy.
No.
Going out here and fucking bitches is I'm sorry. Going out here and having
I thought it was
sexual
gonna be him,
relations
bro.
with
I thought it was
multiple
gonna be
women
him.
is easy. That's easy. We can put them shots up.
Right.
We can do that easily.
Yeah.
And I think
And right, that's
no,
crazy.
but I think and then I think with the climate in this and how women are sexually liberated, it makes it even more easy. Women are much more sexually liberated. Now that's the easy road. And I think for men have to have some sense of challenge in their lives. I always tell people, challenge yourself every day. I know Bricks aligns with that. You challenge yourself every day. And I think even your faith, your belief in God, it challenges you every day. When you're with a woman and you have a wife and you're being loyal, That's a challenge every day, but it's rewarding.
Takes discipline.
I guarantee you, Kadeem probably felt amazing that he has a family that he's loyal to.
Yeah, I love my
He's not taking the easy road over here, and he's still over here. You know what I'm saying? He's actually holding himself to a standard. He's keeping his word to himself first.
Yeah.
How you do anything is how you do everything, right?
Bars.
So
I say
the
it all the
same
time.
reasons why he is the man he is today, right? Those characteristics that makes him a loyal person to his family is the same reason why he's out here winning.
Right, absolutely.
For sure.
Yep.
That part.
Yeah, I think that's what I just want to make sure. Like, I don't feel that people look at being a husband as like a negative. Like, even when I talk to no, I don't.
Dude, look how they
I
talk
read,
about Russell
read,
Wilson.
read,
Look
bro,
how they do Russell
read
Wilson
those
and
comments,
Sierra.
bro.
They
I be
drag
reading the
him.
comments, man.
I just
And
feel
what
like
they have from what it appears to
But
me
don't-
is
but-
happy and
but-
healthy and whole. They got their
Yeah.
kids, their
Thing
family,
is
they
to
love each
have
other.
options.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
no. I
The
think
cool thing is to exercise your options.
that's internet,
Willie,
stuff.
Willie, but you know what it is? The cool thing now is to run from pain, to run from trauma.
Right.
There's no heartbreak when you fucking all these
Vulnerability.
Right.
Yeah, there's no failure in that.
Right.
There's no hurt in that.
Right.
But you're just left empty.
avoidance.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you're just left empty when all that's gone.
Right.
I think a lot of people just don't think it could be them. Like, low
Yeah.
key. They look at, like, Michelle Obama. She posted recently about, like, not fantasizing her marriage.
Oh yeah, I read that.
All the
yeah.
other stuff you guys don't see. So a lot of people, like, idolize relationships, and whether it's social media or not, he was the president. It's like they see that and they just think that's just not for
Yeah,
me.
relationship
Like,
goals.
Yeah, they just want what's on the outside.
Right.
And they know that, low key, they know that. That's why they're not in marriages and long-term relationships.
Even when people message me like we in Paris, they're like, y'all goals. I'm like, bro, this ain't the goal.
Dude.
This is the result of all the extra stuff we doing. It ain't the goal.
That's the thing.
It's a lot of hard work.
gotta
We
push
argue a
through.
lot.
Right. The
We
goal
be-
is
we
to
do all
actually
that, yes.
get the work ethic and the ambition to. That's the
That
blessing.
part.
People don't understand that
Putting in
either.
the work.
Like when you have ambition, you have drive. That's a gift.
Is
That's
it?
really the thing to be thankful for, because a lot of people don't have it. We act like people just are born with drive, and no,
Yeah,
not
that's
everybody's
true.
born with
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
So what Kadeem is saying is this is the product of the blessing.
My drive comes from trauma.
Nah, a lot of people's do
Real
though.
shit.
But you gotta know how to you gotta centralize that and move it in a certain
completely
way.
agree with
Yeah,
You learn
nah.
how to channel that emotion. I think that's something that's wrong with the society too, because people look at, oh, you're sad, that's bad. That you're mad, that's bad.
They're
No,
emotions.
this is energy.
Call
Yeah.
that toxic
And-
positivity.
You like David
when
Beckham?
you
Right.
only promote
Right.
positivity.
Oh, you're sad today? Why are you sad?
I figured you like him.
I can use this. And so I feel what Kadeem is saying when he's like, yo, I listen to these kind of songs because I can channel that energy. He knows how to channel it. A lot of us don't know that. We think, oh, I'm sad, so this is a bad thing. And then we fall
No.
further into depression.
When Sway Lee reality check come on, I power up in the gym. It don't got them BPMs don't matter to me, bruh.
It's not about avoiding the emotion. It's
Nah.
about knowing what to do with it.
All right, man. I'm gonna get y'all out of here. We got one more clip. We've been potting for a
Everybody
while.
sleepy.
Y'all took two. No, I don't think they're sleepy. My camera guys look a
I've been
little
tired.
like look at Hood.
We're just cold.
He's a little cold.
Yeah, it's still cold. My ankles is cold.
And do it. And press the button.
Yeah, please.
And do it.
My timbers are shivering.
Feel like I'm back at Farm Fresh in the freezer.
Well, nobody told you to come in here like that.
I have to go to work.
It's December.
Listen, these are
What in
cold.
the world?
My legs
Why do you have the AC on, bro?
The AC's not on. I didn't turn the AC on. That's what it was when I got in here. God, I
Kadeem,
cannot.
I'd rather be cold than hot. I ain't gonna hold
Thank you.
you. I'd rather be cold than
And
hot.
that's a relationship.
But y'all got on varsity jackets and Bill Cosby sweaters.
December 1st.
Wait,
the hell?
So why have the AC on?
no, I'm with Chris on that one.
I'm with
That's
Willie
fun- that's
and
fundamental.
Chris. And if you pay the bills at my house, you can control the thermostat.
Bet.
Sound like a dad.
I am a dad.
I believe the house should be cold at all.
So if I jump ahead of y'all and pay the bill, I'm just gonna run up in there. You gonna let me run up in there?
Huh?
If I
I don't like the way that sounds, Chris. You gotta hold on.
Oh
He
my
trying to create that viral moment right now. What?
Chris.
What did he hold up? No. What did he just say?
He say go run up and take your girl, nigga.
That's what it sounded like. He said run up in it. That's what it sounded like.
That's what I heard.
You see me pushing hold up. What you say? Yeah. He said, so if I pay the bill, I get to run up in there. I was like,
exactly, nigga.
nah,
Make
because
you move out.
I was like, hold
On
up.
some alpha shit, nigga.
Yeah.
His house now,
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah.
Yeah. What's up?
Is this your kid?
I know.
I got time for you, Chris. Hey, we not doing that. We not doing that. Yeah, I was like, hold on. What you just said, He said, if I pay the bill, I get to run up in that.
I said in there.
That's what he said. I don't know what you said.
That's not what he heard. That's not what he heard.
That's what I heard. I was ready to snap. I said, hold up, man. Fuck all this podcast shit. He was like, what did you say at the meeting, bro? He's like, you want to take it up out of here?
Y'all man, y'all don't run.
Fundamental question. He said money rules everything.
Y'all don't run 55 yards with some shit, boy.
I respect it, Chris. I thought it was a logical question.
Yo, he said it though, right?
I did.
Yeah, I was like, hold up.
Chris is right. I think
I know. Yeah. When I say all the time, you can beat me up in front of my girls.
Get to the clip.
Thank you, bro.
Get to the clip.
I'm about to hold up. Yeah, I'm about to say, hold up, Chris. God damn it. You got me fucked up. Yo, hold up. Challenge day.
Look, beat his ass, throw him over the cliff on Black Panther, nigga, and then move into the moon.
Yep, and move in.
I hate y'all, yo.
Are y'all done?
I respect it. I thought it was a great question, Chris.
I thought he was wilding. I was like, did I hear that wrong?
No, you didn't.
Everybody reacted the same. I was like, he did just say that.
He did.
Okay.
I didn't say that. Get to the clip.
God damn.
So if I cheat on you, I've opened my legs to another man, conquering me. So I think it's a little deeper. So, I mean, it is a double standard, but as a woman, if you really love a man, you're not gonna sleep with another man. That's just how I feel. When a man cheats, he conquers a woman. But when a woman cheats, she's being conquered by a man. So if I cheat on you, I've opened my legs to another man, conquering me. So I think it's a little deeper. So, I mean, it is a double standard.
All right.
Yo, who is she? I need 1,000.
She's I'm gonna pander on this clip.
Go for it.
I can't wait.
Go.
No,
Chris.
y'all gotta go.
I think
Y'all gotta go.
if you love someone, forget male or female, you won't do that if you really love someone.
You won't.
Period.
No, I think men will still do it, but
That's not love. Then you don't love that person. Because if you love that woman, you are not going to do that. And vice versa. As a woman, if I love my man, I am not going to let another man even think about touching me anywhere. It's like blinders.
yeah.
Who are you? It doesn't matter. My man is my man. So unless you don't love your man, you'll do it, spread your legs up like you just said in the video. That's how I feel, personally.
I think if you're a man of integrity that loves his woman, yeah, you won't cheat. But you can love the hell out of a woman and still cheat on her.
With that to a big degree.
No. I mean, you're not a man.
Yeah, as a
you're
man?
not a man.
No, you're
Wait. But can we agree? Like, I agree with Bricks only because I do think the pain or the hurt is rooted in deception. And what I think I hear Lena is saying.
love?
No, wait. No, you're right. So I think we're saying the act itself is we for men is not driven in love. But what Bricks is trying to communicate is that if you have integrity, meaning that whatever we agree to in our space, I'm gonna uphold. You're right. If you're gonna disrespect the space of something that we agree to and go against that, that is not love.
You're being conquered.
Right. But the actual act itself, like meaning like I've met women where let's say, I haven't met anyone. That's I ain't gonna lie. Like no, I thought about it. I've dealt some like very advanced women, but I think even them, they still will get upset about you actually going to fuck another woman. So I was about to say, women will let you do a threesome, but they probably won't not gonna let you just go off and fuck independently. Right. But what I'm saying is like even if I met a woman, right. If I met a woman, I think me and her agreed to let's say an open relationship, and then she said, hey, I'm okay with you fucking someone, and I'll go fuck someone. That doesn't mean I don't love her. That means that we created a space, we agreed on the contract of that space. I'm acting within those confines. I still have integrity because I'm doing what we agreed to. Right. That's what I'm saying. So the act itself isn't what defines love. It's the deception of me going against what we agree to. And it sounds like in the spaces that you hold, you don't agree to your man fucking other women.
Facts.
Yeah, that's it. What Willie basically said is, if you compromise on your word, you are being conquered.
Yes.
Men out there.
Agreed.
So like I would not cheat on my woman for her. I don't cheat on her for me because I would be out of alignment with who I identify myself as.
Yep.
So it's not even about a love thing. It's just about my identity. I am a man of virtue. I am a man who values integrity. So that's why I'm not going to cheat. Not because I love you. Not because I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Those things factor in for sure.
The very first conversation me and you had about relationships, bro, day one, that's the first thing you told me. And honestly, that was the first time I even heard somebody talk like that. And it was like, yo, he's like, I don't cheat on them for her. It's for me. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You loyal to yourself, and you put her inside of it.
First, absolutely.
Yeah, Bricks is better than us. We grew up scoundrels.
Let me ask y'all a question. In relation to this question, how does a man show that he loves you? We all know, like, we can be having sex with women, and y'all are. That isn't how we show that.
No,
we
Lena,
love
we
y'all.
need you to chime in.
Yeah, how do we show that we love you?
I had this conversation with my husband.
Oh yes, talk married woman.
I try to understand how you can cheat, a man can cheat and still simultaneously have love for his wife, woman, serious relationship, other. And he just was adamant that it was just possible. It's just so possible for them to still love their woman and cheat. I couldn't make any sense of it. It didn't make any sense to me.
I think we should take cheat out of it. I think cheat is like when you lie, you go back on your word. Let's just say sex.
Okay.
Let's just say sex.
Well, because when I talked about
No, she's talking about sex and
when I talked about sex
being
with
conquered.
when I talked about sex with
She said if I cheat on you.
right,
But she was
sex.
basing her base
cheat on
of
sex.
Her base of cheat was sex.
Right.
Let's keep it a buck. When we say cheat in our society, we're talking about sex, but that isn't.
Right. That's not the only way you
cheating
can
is
cheat.
very much more
That's
broader
not-
than that, and
right.
that's why a lot of us get fucked up because a lot of y'all just be texting dudes. I didn't have sex with him. You cheating, bruh.
Emotional cheating.
Right. Well,
It's cheating. No, fuck
that's
no.
worse.
It's cheating. It's cheating.
I tried to get to the bottom of how he can how a man can have sex with his
Why you
woman.
cut her off, Chris?
How a man can have sex with his woman and it be so much. It means so much. I've watched him explain that. But then I said, well, what about the cheating sex when you're stepping out? And it was just like, it's different. He just exclaimed, it's just different. I'm like, well, if you're using sex as a tool to show your love, which he agreed to, then how is it any different? How can you expect that woman to see it as
Exactly.
not cheating or not, hurting this woman? Right.
Yeah.
I feel where you're going.
Wait,
with
can I ask a question? I'm asking.
Right.
So,
Hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals. So, Chris, in your marriage, do you show your love through sex?
It's a component. That's not the. No,
That's
is
a
not.
very
That's
good
not
answer.
even.
Yeah.
That's not even the foundational way.
It's a result
You
of.
didn't ask was it foundation?
No, right, no. So,
That's
because
what's supposed to be.
no, because
I feel like that's our
Right, no,
problem.
I
We make
agree.
stuff so black
It
and
is
white.
black.
It's not.
no, but I heard her say that
Mm-hmm.
that her husband is saying that I show love. I show my love with you through sex. So I do agree. If that statement holds true, and then you go have sex with someone else, how do you tell you yes? When I fuck you, it's love.
Yep.
But,
When I'm-
Yep.
but that's why I was asking you. Is that like for a man? Do I show love through sex?
I don't necessarily show love through sex.
No.
That's what I said. I didn't think of it like. I don't think so.
I think it's a product of the love I
It
have.
is a
for you.
result of
And so,
all the other
but I
stuff.
think women do receive
Yes.
that act
Correct.
of love.
Yes.
And I think that's why they get out of alignment when
We do, and that's why y'all fuck us up with
But
that.
that
Well, that's because man, we can compartmentalize all
And
that
So can
different
women.
stuff.
Women can compartmentalize really well.
can.
I feel like
Yes.
we got to step
No, I
into
think
the
they
right.
can. No, I think they can.
But it's not
I think
natural.
no, I think they can.
You're
no, hold on.
accustomed to
I
have to be
think
that
I
way.
think y'all can do that when you're in front of your friends and it looks good and you're on social media. But I think on the
Ooh,
back
the
end,
group
I don't
chat
think
get a
that y'all
different
can
story than me.
compartmentalize sex like that. I'm sorry. I just
Wait,
don't.
you said women don't what about
I've
sex?
seen it.
I think when y'all are in front of your friends on social media,
Right.
when it looks nice, y'all can oh yeah, we just fucked, that's it. But I think
I see
over
what you're
time
saying.
it starts.
Your soul.
I see what you're saying.
Shoot. I can say
Deep down, you
I see
love
what
that
you're
man.
saying. Yeah.
I can-
yeah.
High from that.
Yeah.
Look,
I
they
see
be
what you're saying.
connecting
No.
good sex with love too. Like,
And
I
that's-
put it on
yeah,
her, so
women do
of course
that
she love
too.
me now.
She got to come back. She be cooking. Go ahead, Lydia.
Talk your shit.
But it,
No,
but
Lydia
it's-
about to get in her real like. No, I'm a nigga.
Oh my God.
Yo, y'all always
Shit like no.
What's this trying not? Rule number 10.
You right.
Strike number 8.
Oh, hold on.
Bruh.
Go ahead, Lydia.
Go ahead.
Okay, yes. Now,
Talking to the mic though.
I heard what you're saying, how your husband was like, he shows his love for you physically, but if he were to cheat, the sex he had with her is different, right? And they say that, and I really believe deep down they mean it. But I just feel like as a woman, you should walk around with the information in your pocket that just because someone fucks you does not mean they care about you at all, like 0%.
That part.
So
No,
the
agreed.
idea of that, anyways, honestly, I threw that as soon as he said it. Well, as soon as you're telling us how he said it, I threw that right over my shoulder, like, nah. get out of here with that. So that's why you have women out here acting like savages because even if, let's say his love language is physical touch, it's so hard. How do we know that? Because especially if you're cute out here, anybody will throw the dick at you.
Basically.
So does that mean anybody loves me? No, you can't think that way. So that's why women need other love languages like it might be gift giving or words of affirmation or whatever. That's the reason why the majority of like cute girls, their love language is not really physical touch. They may say that, it might be one of them, but I know that anybody will give it to me.
But
that doesn't, that you're not speaking to me just because you want to touch on my booty.
But that confuses me then. So so the question came back to if a man has sex with another.
Men will say that it's different, and I think that you're
agree
being
with that?
truthful. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard guys say it's just something to do, so it's just because.
But it's not
something to do.
No, but I do think though that it says more about the integrity part, and I just feel like what we originally said is it's two different things. I definitely agree with a woman leaving a man by saying, hey, you made a commitment to me, you made a word that you said that this is how we're going to operate, and you disrespected that space. Now your integrity is in question. But I still think the sex itself, I do think men naturally can have sex with a woman and still not love her and love the other woman over here. I think that's a natural state for a man.
So you're saying because love and integrity are not...
No, because
they don't have to exist in the same person. I can love you and still be without integrity.
No, I'm actually saying the opposite. I'm saying love and integrity are in line, but what I'm saying, the actual act of sex does not mean I don't love you. And I gave you the example of an open relationship. That's an open relationship where we both agree that we're going to operate in a certain space. Yeah. My integrity's high. You're saying I can do this. You've approved for this type of act, and I go fuck Susan. Just because I fuck Susan don't mean, oh shit, Willie, you fuck Susan, so you love her too? No, I don't. I just fuck Susan. Right. I love you.
So deception is not part of love.
Deception is what usually crushes relationships.
I'll take that
part right there.
For sure.
It's the deception.
Yes, always.
And we lean too much into love, yo. I think respect is the word that we have to
I think
look for. And then I gotta ask, and then I was about to say I gotta ask y'all the question: does love and umbrella sex? Does love umbrella respect? Does you know what I'm saying? When you say I love you, does that involve respect?
Yes, it should.
For sure.
Okay.
It should.
Yep.
If it doesn't, that's
100%.
So what? Okay. So 100%. What are we falling for then? Because I feel like a lot of us, we say we're in love and we're this and that, but in a lot of cases, our relationships are failing. So what is it that we're falling for per se? Because it's not love.
What does failing mean in a relationship?
They're not lasting. They're not successful. We're leaving.
By whose standard? That depends on what you're.
I agree, Bricks, and I know where you're going. You're saying like a successful relationship isn't one that stands the test of time. But with what I'm saying is a lot of our relationships aren't ending healthily. They're ending in trauma. They're ending in heartbreak. They're ending in shock. They're not ending like, oh, we just didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take what I can get.
None of my exes will talk shit about me. No. Seriously,
I'm rolling.
Not over the last 7 years. I feel like they would all have, and I'm speaking to a relationship ending healthily, right? Because that's not a failed relationship to me, right? That's why I was a little triggered when he said failed relationship. I'm like, yo, what does that even mean? It's not. It ran its course, right? It was a season. It was a lesson. There was a specific thing I was supposed to leave.
Oh no!
That's
that Tia Murray when she said she graduated from her marriage.
You trying to look? I'm trying to wrap it up, and you trying to bring me down.
I want to challenge
because that really did piss me off when I seen that.
I want to go back to what Chris said though, because I actually think that it's the eye of the beholder. I think I would consider a failure in a relationship when one person doesn't feel like the desired outcome happened in their favor. So you could be feeling like it happened great, and you could feel like because I know you, so I know you can take a space for what it is and say, hey, it didn't work its course, but I valued you. We learned a lot. You're very you live there. You can find the positive. But if somebody else on the other side feels out of alignment to that, and they feel like, hey, what they showed up for, they didn't get, I still could consider that a failure because somebody still feels like they didn't get what they wanted out of the space.
But
failure maybe on the other side's person.
This is a deep topic because
Failure is subjective.
But what I'm saying, like, it is, me and you are aligned. What I'm saying is that because we both can share space, we can both experience something uniquely. Brick's experience of his relationships can be, I loved it, she was dope, I experienced everything was great. We could go interview this person and she was in the same exact relationship as Brick's, and her experience of the space could be completely different.
I think that's why I side with Bricks with what he said. I think when you're not in peace, you're not ready for a relationship. If you end a relationship like that and your reality's so distraught because of that, you didn't cultivate that peace to begin with. You don't have nothing to go back home to. You don't have a home to go back to.
But there's people who are in relationships, and again, you guys can chime in, where somebody can be so out of alignment and they don't even know that the other person wanted to be out of that relationship.
Does anybody in this room have complete control over their lives? No. You have to be at peace with that, and you have to be okay with that, and you have to go with the flow to actually benefit off of life. Because some things aren't going to work out in your favor, and that's what you think. But in the grand scheme, that might have been feeding you. But you're missing out because you're too busy caught up in your ego thinking this should have went this way.
I have a question from a woman's perspective. They meet a man. Yeah. The man tells them things like, hey, we're going to be together forever. They love him. They invest. They go all in. Wait. They go all in. They're in the space. And then the man gets up and says, hey, today, like, this is probably not the space for me. I really loved you. I appreciate it. I enjoyed the last 2 years, but it's time for me to move on. And the woman feels like that they invested, or their feelings for the space is so out of alignment to that guy. You're saying it's the woman's fault for not being at peace, knowing that they should have known that all things come to an end.
Willie, I'm gonna challenge you because we've talked on this pod and you've talked about intermittent communication, right? So there's no way that she should have been sideswiped if it was a healthy relationship. So you saw the fall coming. You saw it.
So I can speak for myself because I've had several failed relationships, and I actually feel the failure out of it, and it does affect me to a degree because of course you think about, okay, what could I have done better? I'm always about self-awareness for me personally. So to actually go to what you were saying, Willie, I think for me and also you, for me, it was a blind side. So it feels like a failure to me because I'm like, damn, how did I not see that? Yeah. Like, what the hell? How did I get myself in this position? I've only had one healthy breakup, like how you described, where it was like, you know what? We actually respect each other, but we kind of really aren't on the same page, but it's cool because I still respect you, you respect me, and it ended so beautifully. And that was the only one I've ever had like that. And I can respect that. And it's like, that's good,
Her failure comes from she can't connect.
From being completely blindsided.
She can't connect those results to what she did, per se. And I think you almost got to take yourself out of it and just let it be, or you have to take the time to figure out why I got myself into this situation.
And that's
I agree
that part right there.
And I guess all I was saying is that I think failure. I think the major thing is sometimes failure can just be different for two people. And all I'm saying is I think there has to be respect for two different experiences. Bricks is an optimistic, positive person. So I actually expect most of his spaces for him to come out and give you more of the positives. But that does not mean the other person's going to feel the exact
These are
same way.
facts.
You know what's insane? Because I was going to try and give y'all a football analogy, but it doesn't work because in football, you're going against someone. And a relationship is different because you're actually trying to work with somebody.
Right.
And it's like, where can we assess, but there's no we anymore? You know what I'm saying? Where can we assess where we went wrong, but now you got to look at yourself.
But it just goes back to this idea, like, I'm so, like, very passionate about experiences. It's just that we both can be looking at this cause, and you're looking at it from this angle, and I'm looking at it from this angle. So my experience of the relationship is that I'm thinking me and this person is going to be together forever. This is my experience. You're looking at it from this angle, like, you know what? It's starting to fade for me. And if the communication, it could be all that off. And Bricks could still walk away and say, you know what? I enjoyed the last 2 years. I learned this, and this. I'm good.
But even then, you have to be fine with the fact that they didn't communicate then.
Right.
That's ideal. That's ideal, but that's not reality. But you're talking about ideal, and we're talking about reality.
And I'm saying,
if you're sideswiped, they weren't telling you the build up.
Wait, Chris, not necessarily.
I think some men are good at not communicating that.
Yeah.
Right. Chris,
so even women will pry and look for communication, and some men won't communicate it until the end.
And that's where
they also won't do it on purpose to manipulate the situation.
They have to find solace because they have to be like, this man didn't communicate. I didn't have any stake in the game because he wasn't giving me anything to work on. He just came to me with an immediate result. I feel this way, I'm leaving. He didn't necessarily say, I need this, that, and the third from you, and actually give me the things to work on.
Yeah. But even if he did, you can still have a difference of just one person just feels like, okay, we're not done trying yet. Like, I got more gas.
Right.
But I'm saying when it's more of a graceful landing, that should give you the space to actually assess the whole thing completely. It shouldn't be a ripped off Band-Aid by then. By then it's on you. If we've been communicating, if I've been telling you I need this, and you're not giving it to me, by that time we both should be
Chris,
both should be at a place where
You're giving a lot of shoulds.
No, because I think when I listen to
a lot
Chris,
of shoulds.
But y'all, and Elliot says this all the time too, and I
The
can't
perfect
stand
man
it
will
because
communicate.
But Chris, you're the one thing I think you and Bricks can suffer from this sometimes. You guys, because you guys are moving in more evolved spaces, I think you're speaking from an evolved spot. Because the ideal state is what I said on the pod the other day. What should be happening in a relationship, I gave the plane analogy. We should be communicating every single time, and as soon as the plane starts to veer off, we should communicate and bring it back on track. Most men in most relationships, one of the things that lack in most relationships is effective, healthy communication.
Where are
You know
we
what
gonna?
I love about
Willie,
that airplane shit? Because when it's turbulence, what he say? Hey, everybody, put your seatbelts on. It's gonna be a little bumpy ride for a little bit. Once it's back off, we're gonna pull it and let the stewardess get back into it.
But
That's perfect.
This is my issue with the ideal talk. Ideals are necessary. You need
Something to aim.
look up
You
to.
need something to aim.
Where are we gonna live? Are we gonna live in men don't communicate effectively? Are we gonna live there? Because it goes back to the incels. That's where they live. They live. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. This is just me. A lot of women live in that. They live. Oh, this is just how I am.
Yeah, love me for me.
Right.
From the standard. Let's speak from what we shoot for.
Ideal.
Well, that's what Chris is saying.
Are we here to talk about ideas? We can open a book and read
Exactly.
what we should
Exactly.
and
That's
we should and
and
we should.
that's
What is
the
versus
that's
what
and with the
is.
reality. Of
that's
what
my
we're living.
whole and that's me dealing with reality. I
And
feel like that's our
reality,
problem with
there's
society.
deception.
There's no
I've been
structure.
trying to wrap them up for about 10 minutes.
And I feel
But they
like
cook
we run from ideals because we're running from accountability. Ideals give us something to assess ourselves on.
And that's where we're going to end it right there. Episode 123. I had a fan question. We didn't even get to it, but I got you on 124. I'm going to write it on the board before we leave. All the guests, thank you so much. And y'all did well. We have a lot of people in the room today, and we did not overtalk each other. I am so proud of you guys. God damn it, what a meeting we had before the pod. Just another podcast. Make sure you hit subscribe. Share it with a friend. Go catch us on IG. Share a clip. Tell your mama to come check us out. All that.
You're not doing nothing.
You ain't doing nothing. And hit up Best Link Strategies. Change your life. Change your life today. Hey, Lena, if Lena get 3 more signups, I want my cut, goddammit.
Hey.
Somebody told me how much that shit is. I need my cut, goddamn. And we out.
Peace.